Hello and welcome to Eberron Terminus. Thank you for joining us tonight for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons and the last instalment of Eberron Terminus. I'm Chloe and I will be your Dungeon Master tonight. We are thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/D&D and twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. For the benefit of anyone who is new to D&D, even if you've stumbled upon us and the official D&D Twitch channel, everyone around me plays fantasy characters in a fantasy universe. They're all playing their own individual characters with sheets that tell them what they're good at, bad at, their specific skills. And 9 times out of 10, when they try to do something, they will roll a d20 like this and add a number from their sheet to that roll to see whether they are magnificently successful at doing something or hilariously bad at it. And between them doing that, I describe and play the rest of the world. And between our descriptions and our role play and dice rolls to keep it a bit unpredictable, we tell a story. So in terms of recapping, a lot's happened. Everyone here, all their characters are members of a special ops unit called The Line, who try to preserve some kind of status quo and balance in Khorvaire in Eberron. And the way that they're doing it currently is chasing a runaway train where they've got a captured ally on board, and additionally they're pretty sure there is a valuable Siberys Dragonshards on there, which is being used for who knows what nefarious purpose by a slightly dodgy cult, because D&D and cults and things like that. So everyone has been on an airship, avoided it crashing, jumped from that onto the train, then fought and snuck their way through the train, and they have found their ally, but their ally is not alone. And the ally has also started shouting about something called a Mabaran Resonator, which we will find out hopefully very soon what that is. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So if we can do some introductions, if you could say your name, your pronouns, your character's name, your character's pronouns, a little bit about them, and where they're at right now. And I'll start with it. My name's Chloe, as I said, and my pronouns are she, her. And I will be playing various characters with different names, different pronouns as we play.
Hi, I'm G. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing as Rudy, who uses she, her pronouns. And Rudy is a half-orc barbarian and carries a big hammer maul kind of thing with spikes on the end, and also has a familiar, a little kind of automaton dog, which is definitely just dressing as opposed to actual rules proper. But yeah, so at the moment she's glad that she's just found her Kane, person that we've been sent here to find. A bit distressed that he's clearly been taken prisoner and is not doing too well. But yeah, I don't know if she knows what a Mabaran Resonator is yet, so I don't know how she feels about that as it stands.
Hi, I'm Grace, and I use they, them pronouns, and I will be playing Ward, who also uses they, them pronouns. Their programming is Warforged Evocation Wizard. Ward is a sort of 6 foot tall copper and wood, Warforged, and they wear like a long green coat and have sort of runic runes etched into their copper skin. Ward is having a bit of a rough time at the minute because they have spent the years since the last war trying to overcome the fact that they were sort of built as a weapon, but while we've been on this mission have started having to do things that they would rather not be doing, and looks like they might have to keep hurting people to get through this. So they're having a bit of a rough time.
Hi, I'm Matt. I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Mac, who also uses he, him pronouns. I am a long-tooth shifter. We've yet to see Mac shift into his hyena form. I think it's coming quite soon. And I am also an artificer. So I'm really hoping that all my years of tinkering and learning about machines mean that I know what a Mabaran Resonator is.
Hi, I'm Pav. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm playing a changeling bard called Mucht, who uses they/them pronouns, but spends most of their time in a human male form called Franz, which is a persona. And Franz wears a glamour weave tuxedo, newly acquired from Eric's, their supplier. And Mucht is feeling very uncomfortable because they are having to make decisions fast, and they are not in control, and there's not a lot of like talking, and there's a lot of running. Mucht isn't that fit, and also it's not. Yeah, this is a lot. It's a lot of action. But we're here. We're helping, and I healed Kane, and I hope that means that Kane's okay.
I'm Vic. I use she/her pronouns, as does my character Aoife, who is a Kalashtar druid. She started off this whole journey being a bit like a kind of new kid in the city. She's moved here from the Mournlands or on the outskirts of, and has spent time in Sharn being very confused by all these people with their complicated motivations and politics. But actually, since landing on the train, is now feeling a lot more comfortable, because all there is to do when you're in a corner is, much like in nature, stop what's happening. And so she actually feels like there's a sort of calm in knowing exactly what you have to do, which I think she's sort of reacting to kind of differently, I think, to a lot of the rest of the party, in that sense of like she finds a sort of stillness in the purpose of it all.
Cool. So, a few practicals before we get to playing. The stream will run for 3 hours. There'll be kind of a 5-10 minute break somewhere in the middle. We are delighted to be sponsored by D&D Beyond, who are the official digital toolset for Dungeons & Dragons. They offer a compendium of all the game's rules, lore, they've got adventures, digital tools like character builders and such like, and indeed digital character sheets, which everyone who's playing is using right now. If you go over there and click on the character faces, then you can see the character sheets that everyone's got. And those amazing portraits on there are by Aviv Orr, who has done the character artwork for this campaign as well. And also the Digital Dice Alpha is coming very soon to D&D Beyond. Anyone with a Master or a Hero tier subscription will have early access, where you can just click and roll dice for any check, attack, and much more straight from your character sheet. Do check that out. Not quite sure when it's out. It might even already be out. We are also delighted to be sponsored by Ultra Pro, who help you get your tabletop organised with character folios, dice bags, and more. They do a huge number of things and are a leading manufacturer and supplier of sports and gaming collectibles. One of those such things being this little dude. So we are giving away one of these Xanathar dice bags. You can see, put your dice right in there. To anyone who is in the Twitch chat and also has a UK address. We might not be able to mail it out to you straight away because of lockdown and some delays with mailing, but do join us in the Twitch chat, and you'll be in a chance to win one of these. I am struggling to pronounce the name that we've given this one, so does anyone else want to take a stab?
Rebladeb Alucard Redemption.
It's a long one. He likes to be formal. So awesome. Also, before we get to playing, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging gender and sexual identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we encourage and champion trans players and characters in our games. Myself and the players may and indeed do portray characters that are of a different gender to our own. We aim to avoid misgendering, but we understand it happens, and we have a policy in place for correcting it. If we miss an instance, however, we're open to being corrected, so do say in the chat if you think one's been missed. Lastly, you might see people, if everyone was to hold up their pause cards, holding up things that look like this, cards or pieces of paper with pause on them. Or you might hear someone talking about drawing a line under something or drawing a veil over something. Those are some of the safety tools we're using in the game. Basically, if anyone holds up one of these cards, we'll take a brief check while we check in with everyone and making sure that everyone's comfortable. And if lines are mentioned, we won't be featuring any of that content. If fails, then it kind of happens off stage and isn't described. I won't do a big explanation here. There'll be a link in the chat if you're interested in any of those tools. So, with all that said, let's kick things off with the official Eberron Terminus intro for the last time, featuring awesome character artwork by V4. I love that so much. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask everyone to do is roll me either History or Arcana to see if you know what a Mabaran Resonator is.
Dirty 20.
Hey.
Definitely Arcana.
9 for me.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay,
15 for me.
15.
Yeah. 18 for me.
21 for Ward.
Coming through clutch.
So, Aoife's probably loosely heard of this, but doesn't have a huge amount of detail. Mucked right over your head. No idea. And however, Ward, Rudy, Mac, you have heard of one of these things before. What you know of Mabaran Resonators is there are certain types of machines that are built which are called, I believe, kind of dread machines or eldritch machines. And it's where dragon shards are used with machinery to conjure up immense magical ability and might. A Mabaran Resonator is a dread device that draws upon the power of Maba, apologies, I've only ever seen it written down, which is a kind of like a plane and a force in Eberron, which is also known as the Endless Night. And basically, whilst this machine is active, any humanoid that dies within 2 miles of it reanimates 1 minute later as a zombie under the control of whoever controls the resonator.
Wow.
That is what this does, which probably makes a little bit more sense of Missa, the elf that you met earlier, because when they were killed, they came back shortly afterwards as a zombie. So as Kane, who is on the other side of this door, is shouting, they've built a resonator, a Mabaran Resonator. You three know exactly what that is. Aoife, you just know that it is not good and it is to do with death. And Mukt, you have no clue what this is. Now that you've got that information, I'm going to ask everyone to roll initiative. Because that's where this has gone, because they all know you're here.
Oh, damn it. We had a plan.
Having plans is
We have to
easy.
be nice and heal people and ruin our element of surprise. God damn it.
Having a plan is the easy step. Doing it is the hard one.
Yeah.
And they've just got like a vibrating massage machine. Nothing's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mabaran. I was going to say, I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Okay, let's go for 20s and above. Anyone? 15 and above.
Oh,
19.
Wow.
Cool.
I'm almost there.
10 to 15?
14.
11 for Ward.
Ward. 5 to 10s?
8.
6. A natural 1.
Nice.
And Mux. Don't worry, I pre-rolled for other people. Kane rolled worse than Mukt, so Mukt's not the least.
You're worse than a 1.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Kane just isn't as Dexy. It's that. Still rolled terribly. Okay, so first up, for anyone who's kind of joining this scenario, what we've basically got is all of you on the outside of a train carriage. On the inside of that train carriage, there is a Karnathi undead soldier, a tiefling, and Kane as well. All of whom have seen you, because the last thing that happened was Mukt cast Healing Word to flush Kane with health, but that meant that it was very obvious that there was someone nearby, and 3 heads just like swiveled to see you. The Karnathi Undead Soldier goes first.
Okay.
Yeah, Karnathi Undead Soldier rolled real well. And yeah, is just going to come barreling towards that door. They're about halfway down, so all of this soldier's movement, like this huge kind of weird skeleton, is going to come to the door and probably slide this door open. Now, Mux and Rudy seem to be the ones who are actually kind of looking in the most. Are you the two who are right in front of the door? Yep. Okay. Mook's the one who's magic and who did some magic.
That's true.
So it has this huge hulking like rusted longsword and is just gonna try and stab you. That is a 12.
Doesn't hit.
Amazing. So it just kind of misses. And the Karnathi Undead Soldier, he just goes wide, but is now blocking the doorway. Aoife, it is now your turn.
I still have Spider Climb active because it lasts an hour.
It lasts an hour,
I haven't been hit yet. So is it possible for me to like get through the door by running up the roof? And like going like trying to get like Gracie, I'll take the attack of opportunity, but I want to get through that door and land next to Kane.
Oh, okay.
By like running along the ceiling.
I'm gonna say that. What's your dex modifier? How naturally dexy are you?
I've got a +3 on dex.
Okay, since you're naturally quite dexy, it's a little bit difficult to get past, but you can get past. However, is going to use his reaction for an attack of opportunity, and that's worse than the one on Mux. That's a 12.
Sometimes you take a gamble and it pays off.
That's an 11, and I'm guessing that's not going to hit Aoife.
That doesn't hit, no. Thanks for the snazzy armor match.
This longsword just clanging on the carriage.
I think to kind of tie in with Aoife's like, you know, bringing nature to the word of the trade, it's gonna be like kind of mixture of like all fours, running, climbing, like kind of thing. I want to like superhero land next to Kane.
Okay.
And cast Thunderwave in front of the pair of us, so anyone who's nearby gets.
The only other person in there is the tiefling.
Well, then I guess the tiefling's going to hit by a Thunderwave.
Okay, what does she need to...
The 15-foot cube, because could I potentially hit the back of the soldier boy?
No, the Karnathi Undead Soldier had to come like 30 feet, because Kane's about halfway through, so you used all your movement to get to Kane.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just blast her away using Thunderwave then. It's a Constitution saving throw.
I'm guessing a 7 isn't enough?
It's not enough, so she takes 7 points of damage, but she is pushed 10 feet away.
Cool, yeah. She just gets right back. Doesn't look too pleased about it.
How's Kane looking generally? Is he rosy?
Kane is looking like the 18 hit points that Mux managed to give him have really helped. It hasn't kind of, there's still like a fractured tusk because Kane is a half orc, but actually, and also Kane looks like Kane is smiling, which is just a big sign to you that actually Kane's doing all right.
Okay,
does say untie my hands.
I'm not going to bother.
Untie my hands, and you can now see that Kane's hands have been tied behind him.
Can I use a bonus action to do that?
I'll say that you can do that. Just cool. Make me a sleight of hand check.
Ugh. Oh, that's actually really good. That's a 20. That's an 18. 18.
Yeah, you absolutely just.
Yeah.
And Kane can finally shake out his hands. Anything else that you'd like to say? I think because you've done movement and actions.
I guess I'll turn to Kane and go, what was it? A Mabaran Resistor, and just how bad would it be if it ends up in the Moorlands?
Incredibly bad. But we can we talk in a second. And then it's Mac's turn.
Okay. How easy is it to engage with the soldier? We've got Mut and Rudy in front of the soldier, right?
Yes. So I guess
is it easy for me to get a strike in or not? No.
I'd say that he probably has like a little bit of cover.
Okay.
So probably I'm gonna add like 2 to his AC if you want to try.
Okay.
But you are having to angle between 2 people.
In which case, well, I'm gonna hold back then, rather than try and get in a strike. I'm gonna hold back and fire a couple of times with my crossbow. But I'm gonna send at the end of my turn. I'm gonna send Falchion to be within 5 feet of the soldier. So I'll do that.
If Falchion's with you, Falchion is probably already within 5 feet. Because you're all very crammed in.
Okay.
There isn't much space outside these.
Yeah.
And for context, Falchion is Mac's Steel Defender.
Yes. Who looks like a hyena. Right. Well, that was a natural 1. So
And that was with your crossbow, yeah?
that was in my crossbow, yes.
Okay. Could you roll damage for me?
Oh no.
Sure. Okay. That's 2. But it is 6, because I get +4 to that. So 6 damage.
6 damage. You all hear this deafening almighty clang because you're trying to do this whilst a train is in motion and you are at the point where carriages are coupled, so sometimes your feet might even be on slightly different platforms, just goes awry, and you all hear this almighty clang and this creaking because the platform that you are all standing on has been hit. And you have a limited amount of time. I'm not going to say precisely how much because you wouldn't know in real life. You have a limited amount. Sorry, of space.
Can I ask if I just go to Kane? Don't worry, Kane. The professionals have arrived. Clang.
She just kind of looks at you in like a yep way. But you can feel like a jolt and a creak.
Oh my gosh.
Because the connection of the platform you're on.
Probably fine.
Yeah, it's probably fine. Mac, anything else you'd like to do?
I feel like having gone so badly wrong, I now have my eye in and my footing a little better. I think we're going to try that again and try and get more than 1.
Okay, an extra attack. Go for it.
Okay, and that's going to be 17.
Okay, so 17 on the soldier.
Yeah.
Afraid because of the cover, just misses. You don't hit, man. You don't damage anyone else. You're just trying to get that angle just right, and it just through kind of like
rough.
Just past the door and through the ceiling. It was very close.
Okay, that's going to be me. That's going to be me then.
Okay. Next up is the tiefling, who is going to use. She got pushed back 10 feet, right?
Yeah.
So she's about 20 feet. Okay. You see her just get to her feet, look at all of you, right, and turns around and is going to use dash action, and you just see her open the door at the end of this carriage, close it, and you don't know where she is or where she's going.
Oh, god damn it.
Well, we know kind of where she's going. There's only one way up the train.
Well, yeah, there's limited options, I'll admit. Yeah. It is now Ward's turn.
All the things I was going to do have gone tits up.
Welcome to D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons.
That seems to be happening a lot in this campaign.
Yeah. Okay. So the big concern that we have at the minute is that it looks like... Wait a minute. That's really irritating. Oh no. It looks like the platform that we're on is going to break and we're all going to fall to our deaths, but the door is being blocked by this big old blokey. Okay.
Yes.
So really we gotta get him out of the way. Okay. I guess this is one thing that always gets me about the spell Shatter, is that does inorganic material especially well, but I always feel like it should do bone really well. But bone
It's
is
dark. It's dark.
it wouldn't be that particularly effective on bone anyway.
I guess bone is cushioned.
What?
Let's not get into
Sorry.
deep conversations about the makeup of
what
bone.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a chromatic orb at first level of fire, and much like the sort of the fire bolts that you've seen coming from Ward, it sort of like connects down their arm. You see this heat starting to flow through, and sort of a crystal embedded in their palm starts to glow with a fiery energy. And I'm gonna yeet a chromatic orb at the Skelly.
Yeet away. Is that an attack or a saving throw?
Chloe, I have really bad news. It's an attack. But I too.
Oh my
You know
god!
what?
You actually.
Let's rewind.
Don't worry, Kane. Everything's going to be fine. We've got this all under control.
Professionals are here.
I too have rolled a natural one.
I so thought for a moment that was going to be a fake out and you'd rolled a nat 20. But okay, so that was a... Okay, so fire,
Betrayed.
chromatic orb.
Yeah. Fuck. Do I have to roll damage? Because it's 3d8.
Ouch!
I don't think you have to roll damage. I think with a 1, what happens is... In terms of the orb, like, it takes a little bit of time to actually fully expand. So what happens is it almost nicks past through the Karnath the Undead Soldier, but expands behind. And as I mentioned, this is a dining cart that has loads of tables and benches that are screwed into the ground. So it hits like 2 of those and starts a fire inside the carriage as well. The carriage is made of metal. You at least like have that solace. But as that goes on, it's going to become harder to see in there.
Fire. Too. Great.
Wow, you never really plan for things going this awry this quickly.
Fantastic. Great. Good. Cool. Great. Love it. Thrilling.
Good first round, everyone.
We've still got, it's now...
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything else, Grace, that would like to do?
I think I've done enough, honestly. Like, I'm gonna nip back. So if I can be sort of like hiding slightly behind in the next carriage, like just so I would have a little bit of cover if it wanted to hit me. But
Sure. Rudy.
Okay. So I think I want to just get rid of this guy out of the doorway.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is, I know that shove is normally like get someone 5 feet, push someone 5 feet back. I want to like sort of dive at him and
You can push him prone.
take me with him. I don't want to push him away from me.
Oh, yeah,
I want to go with, and I want to get 10 feet away from everyone behind me.
Okay.
Hey.
You can knock him prone, which
Okay.
would like open it up so that people can actually get in. I totally that with a shove. Okay, please make a strength check, strength athletics, and this is going to be versus.
And if you'll allow it, I'd like to say as well that no, that won't work for. Okay, never mind.
You
Ignore
sure?
that. Oh god. That's a 7.
if you used your special bonus action that you have, you would have advantage on that.
Yeah, but I'm guessing I am not 10 feet away from everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you're not, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that was a nat 20 from the soldier. It's fine, everyone. It's fine. We're totally gonna.
I'm just gonna. Ooh.
The soldier just like stands there. Can I have a intelligence check from everyone who is outside the carriage?
I'm gonna change dice because fuck that dice.
Am I?
Fuck this dice too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got
14.
distracted by my technical difficulties. Am I inside?
Yes,
which
you're
carriage?
inside. Aoife's inside the carriage.
Okay. Intelligence. Ooh.
Oh, sorry, it's just intelligence for anyone outside.
Wrong word.
Mine's
what are
just a
those?
9.
9?
Yeah.
Mine's a 10.
10. Rudy?
14.
14? Ward?
11.
Okay, Rudy, you have like a kind of little flash and you realise that looking at what's stood right in front of you, maybe it's because you got so close up, you notice how, because it's a skeleton, he's a skeleton, almost looks like the rungs of a ladder filling this doorway. Just gonna say that Rudy notices that because y'all are in a bad sitch. So, Mukt.
Oh, I don't know that. Oh, okay.
Speaking's a free action, but yeah, Mukt hasn't.
Somebody might be able to climb over this guy.
I like that. I say, okay, as an action, I would like to attempt to climb the soldier bones guy.
I'm going to say that's it's a form of grapple. So if you need to be a strength athletics, I'm going to treat this as kind of a slightly different type of grapple.
Okay, cool. All right, great. Definitely what I'm good at. Yeah, that's a 5.
I rolled a 2, mate. So you can with that you can basically you are climbing up this person.
Cool.
And that's like because of his height and the doorway, you can get onto the top of this carriage if you want.
Amazing. I will do that.
Okay.
And then because as a bonus action I want to do bardic inspiration and I'm aware that like distance and wind is a factor, could I do that before I get on top of the carriage?
Yeah. Or you can be doing it as you're like climbing up.
In which case then I will be climbing, and as I'm climbing I sing, sometimes things go really well, sometimes they go terribly. This time feels like the ladder, Rudy help me, and just climb up.
Oh!
Aces. Cool, so don't forget you've got inspiration, Rudy.
Cool.
Anything else? Because that's going to have, like, you can use a little bit more movement, but we'll have used most of your movement to actually get up on top.
Yeah, no, I'll just use as much as my movement as I can to get like away from this situation, and then that's me.
Cool, you can get like another like 15 feet if you want. Okay, Kane is next, and having been emboldened by Aoife saying that the professionals are here, is going to because you've untied his hands. So Kane runs over to further down the carriage where you saw the tiefling head out, and starts rifling through this cargo box. There's a few different cargo boxes on some of the tables, and you see Kane put some kind of disc in his pocket, but also pull out this long sword. And he's going to use all the remaining movement and the dash action to get back to the undead soldier. He doesn't quite have enough to do anything about it, but you see him just like behind the soldier being like, "Good to see you, everyone," from behind, and kind of like smile. "Thanks for the healing." And that is Kane. And we are back to the undead soldier. Mukt has disappeared. Matt has tried to... Well, Rudy's right in front of him.
So I, as a reaction, my steel defender is going to do deflect attack, and it's going to impose disadvantage on the attack roll of one creature you can see that was within 5 feet of it.
Nice, okay. So that is I believe that is a 12.
That does not hit.
Cool. What does it look like, Falchion kind of stopping this attack happening?
Falchion rears up on hind legs and snarls, this really vicious snarl, this weird mechanical version of a snarl.
Nice.
Which I'm not going to replicate.
Yeah, and it just kind of throws the undead soldier, who is then not sure who he should attack, and he kind of backs off very fractionally. Aoife.
Cool.
It is now your go.
I want to shout back to the group. Do we need to go after the tiefling?
You can all hear
Yes.
that.
Assumedly.
Okay, is that door? Is it, how shut is it?
It's been shut. I mean, presumably you can open it.
Is it a pull door? Or is it
It's a
push door?
slide.
How dexterous would you allow me to be with hooves?
With hooves?
Could I open the door if I had hooves?
I'm afraid, nah.
Well, then I guess I have to go to the door, open it, and then turn into a warhorse.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are now
My
a...
favourite wild shape.
I guess I will shout back and go, does anybody want to ride?
So,
We're all stuck back here.
You get Gaines not.
true. Kane is just next to some flaming tables.
Yeah.
Slowly filling this up smoke. Cool. Is that your action to wild shape, or is that your
My
bonus?
action is the wild shape.
Okay, cool. Do you want to use any bonuses?
Yes, well, sort of. So, how much of my movement did I use to get to the door?
30 feet. So you used your movement.
When I turn into a horse has 60 feet of movement. So do I get my remaining 30 feet?
I will say that you can have the remaining 30.
Can I use that? I don't want to go into the next carriage because I still have spider climb activated. So
You can't cast spells while you're in wild shape, so I don't know if spells can still maintain.
You can maintain.
Oh, you can maintain.
spells while you're
Okay,
wild
cool.
shape.
You're a spider climbing horse.
What is going to be the truly glorious sight of a horse riding majestically across the roof of the train.
Okay, so are you trying to go onto the roof of the carriage you're on, or the next one?
But my intention, I know I'm not going to do all this turn, is to get along top of the carriage. Because I'm moving at twice the speed of the tiefling, I wish to jump down at the end of the carriage ahead of her and block her exit from the carriage while being a horse.
Okay.
Okay.
But I know that for
Yeah,
this turn,
you
I'm
can
only
only get
like
so
a
far.
third way across of the carriage.
Yeah, to go kind of like up and then start going, you're probably about like 15 feet through this. And Mook,
Yeah.
you see this.
Yeah,
Because it's the next carriage along.
I don't think I heard anything because it was like all the wind and stuff, so I just see the horse.
Yeah. Yeah. Aoife's horse form is like, because she's got the kind of like the greyish tinge from her kind of being near the moorlands. Like it's like a kind of white horse with like grey, like dappling. The hair's braided like Aoife's hair. It's a beautiful horse.
Are you a
Galloping
Blagden?
majestically.
Excellent.
Are you a Blagden cob? Like
I don't know enough about horses.
it feels okay. Yeah, well, oh, sorry.
Yes, I would trust you implicitly to know about horses, so I will say yes.
Okay, Mac, it is your turn. There is still this creaking.
Okay.
You don't know how long you've got left before this ground goes beneath you.
We've still got Rudy standing in front.
Yeah.
Mooked has done the
The smoke did.
laddering.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna step. No, because we've now got a character behind as well, haven't we? Because Kane has moved behind the skeleton, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but Kane is like behind and a little bit to the side. Kane is
Okay.
experienced and hasn't gone like in a super dangerous spot.
Okay. I'm gonna try the thing that was tried earlier, where I'm by Rudy, where I'm gonna try and push this skeleton back and prone, so that
Okay.
we can attack it from that point, and also everyone can just make their way in.
Okay.
If that doesn't work next round, I'm definitely going to be doing that. I'm hoping not to do the cartoon version that I imagined when Rudy did it, which is just a character like legs going like this and like nothing moving.
Yeah, the soldiers just
see
kind of
how that goes.
holding Rudy's head at arm's length. Kind of vibes. Okay.
Okay, it's not too bad. 16.
10. Okay, so you just barrel sword and you're knocking him prone.
Yes.
Okay. Straight onto the ground. You've opened up the doorway. Kane is just to your left hand side. Cool. Do you have any bonuses or anything else?
Well, I have my movement, so if I move, will the soldier get an attack of opportunity? Would it be at disadvantage? Am I like?
We'll get an attack of opportunity. I don't know about being at disadvantage because he's on the ground.
I think it's disadvantage because they're prone.
Okay, but there will actually. Oh no, we're on a fresh round, so it's a fresh reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to chance it?
Okay. I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna take my bonus, and no, I'm not gonna do that. I'll save that still. I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna use my movement, and I'm gonna go through.
Okay. That is a 16. Wait, disadvantage.
Sweet.
That is an 18. 16, does 16 hit?
Cool. Well, so 16. That's awesome because the 18 would have hit me. So 16 does not hit.
Yeah, still just kind of flailing with this longsword.
I jump over, making myself feel much better about this round than I did about the last round. And I will move through enough so that other people can come through, and if they want to be right next to the soldier, they can be. So I'll do that. I'll leave enough room.
Okay.
That's going to be me.
It is the tieflings go. She does things. You can't see, you don't know. Ward. Let me just check something. It's fine. The structure underneath you does not collapse.
Did she hear who's on the wood? On the roof up above?
To be honest,
loud.
you don't know what's inside that carriage, and therefore the noise that you're competing against.
I'm gonna die.
That'll be fine.
Wood, the you can see that it's holding just in front of you that kind of the connecting parts with Rudy now the only person on them. And there's more space that's been opened up now in front of you.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to the Skelly's attack reaction has been spent, so I can get by, can't I?
Yeah.
I will run over the Skelly and just keep on going.
Running?
Just keep going.
Cool.
I won't use my action because if we can keep going, we can keep going, can't we? Like, you know?
Yeah. So you dashing?
No, I'm gonna move my movement. So I'm gonna move 30 foot in, and I'm gonna turn back behind me and sort of make that deep ringing sound again from their jaws, and use Toll the Dead. So I'd like the undead person to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. That's a 17 on the dice. These are doing me so well today. Credit to them.
Curse the bright dice. Yes, no, it saves. So I don't think anything happens.
I think he just doesn't hear anything over the massive clattering of his own longsword just missing and hitting all the metal around. So inadvertently helps him save on that.
And the fire. Don't forget the fire.
Fire's crackling. It's time to fill up with a bit of smoke. Rudy, it's your go. Unless, Ward, no bonuses you want to use?
No, that's the lot.
Okay, Rudy. You are now the only person who is outside.
So there's no one within 10 feet of me.
Sorry?
There's no one within 10 feet of me.
No, Kane's like right on the edge, but you wouldn't catch Kane.
Cool,
And
but the soldier is.
Yeah, the soldier is within
on the
10 feet.
It's time!
I would say Falchion is, but you would know that that's fine.
Okay.
You've worked together a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it. So, I start with my bonus action of activating my rage. And yes, sort of cloud storm of dusty fire rages around me and deals 3 points of fire damage to the soldier. And after my last turn's or extremely poor performance, Rudy's needing to do something. So I want to grab the soldier by the feet, drag him out of the carriage, and throw him off the side of the train.
Okay, I'm gonna need a That's going to be like a contested strength against, and then I'm going to need an additional roll because of some other things I've been rolling, but let's start with the strength.
Okay. So I get advantage on that because of my raging.
Yeah.
Good, because that was a 1.
So many ones.
That is 22.
Oh,
shoot. Really thought I kind of had it with a 19, but no.
Hey.
Okay.
I did have my inspiration I could have used as well, but I'll save that.
Could you please make me also a dexterity saving throw?
Dex saving throw. Ooh, 7.
7.
Oh, yeah, 7.
don't you have advantage on dex saving throws against things that you can see?
Yeah, danger
And
sense.
you definitely can see and hear the crumbling platform
Okay.
because I was rolling for it.
That's 15.
Okay, so basically what happens is you drag this soldier out, you are able to hurl him off the side of the train, and so nimbly, like surprisingly nimbly, you wouldn't necessarily expect this from Rudy, but just yourself back inside as that platform and the connection to the rest of the train from Mac's attack earlier just crumbles and crunches, and the carriages start to separate. And you are now just basically in a doorway, nothing in front of you.
I managed to jump and grab the top of the door frame.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool.
Inside.
Yeah, and
please tell me you turn to the rest of us and just go, no ticket. Please.
Yes, I'll make that canon. Just wish I'd thought of it.
Cool, Mux. It is your go. You can hear a lot of noises. Like you definitely might not see, but you hear the noise of metal kind of crunching and fracturing and straining, and that kind of weird release noise as it fully breaks. You also probably start to hear the sound that, because there is no elemental controlling the movement of those latter carriages now. So you start to hear like the rattling as it starts to veer off of the lightning rails.
I think like Mucht tries to go to their happy place and is just like closes their eyes and is just climbing along the top of the train carriage, just trying to like block everything out and like everything's gonna be fine. Just think about the bar, there's a big crowd in front of them and like throwing roses and thinking about that and like climbing on top.
What's your passive perception?
It is 12.
12, okay. Just gonna do a couple of rolls.
Okay.
Oh god, that was bad. So you've not been, I guess you're not trying to hide. That was poor as well. You see as you're climbing along, what looks like a masculine human individual like lying down at the front of the carriage and starting to point a crossbow at the horse on the next carriage, but he's not seen you yet. So you can use some of, like, you're using your movement to climb forward. You're not going to get right next to him. You'll be able to get about 15 feet away unless you start to use dashing as your action.
Do I think that I would be able to do something that would mean that he would be able to hear me if it was? I'm just thinking like if something like Dissonant Whispers is like off the table.
As long as I think you can make it so that he can hear you. We had some people like doing con checks earlier, and the situation hasn't changed. So I would allow that. It's still very loud, and there's a lot of things to compete with. But because you're sufficiently near, I'd allow that.
Okay. I think I would cast Dissonant Whispers, kind of specifically because I want them to see if I can get them to move away from me, and hopefully that would interrupt their ability to attack the horse as well.
Cool. Just so you know, you obviously don't know this about him yet, but him for this character.
Cool. Thank you. And then so that's a wisdom saving roll.
How wise is he? That is an 18. Just
Nice.
rainbow
Pretty
dice,
nice.
mate. Rainbow dice.
Start. I thought.
What is the content of the Dissonant Whispers?
The content of the Distant Whispers is just I think like the sound. I think I try to mimic the sound of like the train carriage behind breaking off. So it's like a like I like to try and get them to like run, I guess, away from metal ripping. I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't very good.
It's just like a kind of little shake of the head and just keep it together, Ethan. Keep it together. Keep it together, Ethan.
So on a failed save, do I do anything? Does take half the damage? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
half
okay,
damage.
so we still got some
They
damage.
don't move.
Okay. So he takes. That's nothing. Oh, okay. So 7 damage. 7 psychic damage.
7 psychic damage, and you see that like he is not nearly as built or as kind of well armored as other people you've met, and you see that does really shake him.
Okay. That's good. I'm glad. Doing things.
Cool. Any bonuses?
No, that's it. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. It's then over to Kane. So you're all bar Aoife and Mukt, who are top carriages. You're all in here with Kane now. So since the soldier's been thrown off, Kane just turns to all of you. Look, we have to some people have to destroy the resonator or disarm it however possible. I've got this, and holds up that kind of disc that he put in his pocket earlier. I can get 2 people to the front carriage to change the direction of the train with this. We need someone persuasive. And just kind of, what's the plan?
Well, I'm not persuasive, but I can be incredibly destructive. So perhaps the resonator for me.
Good
That
thing.
sort of goes for me too. We want persuasive. I think Mukt is up there somewhere.
Which is your boy.
Okay, I'll go find Mukt. You will, the resonator, I think it's the next one along. Just be careful.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Should
How
someone
many others
go,
have you? Sorry.
yeah, perhaps someone should go with you, someone who can defend the 2 of you in case anything happens. Well, Aoife is already there, but
true. Look, let's just get between the carriages, see what we can see.
Okay.
And then just dashes to the end of the carriage where there's the open door. It is then Ethan's go.
Oh.
Ethan's gonna do it. He's gonna be really cool and do things, and he's got a crossbow but rolls a 9. And so there's just this Aoife, a crossbow bolt just through the air, off to the right hand side of you. Pretty wide, but like it's, come on Ethan.
I have a passive perception of 23. Can I see him?
I'm good. Yeah, I mean, you're spider climbing, so it's also not hard for you to turn around and just kind of look over your horse shoulder. Yeah,
It's a horse,
you can
apparently.
see.
Normally.
You can see Ethan just there, but Ethan is now busy like trying to reload this. Cool, and it would be the undead soldier's go. It is now actually Aoife's turn.
And I've just been shot at. And we call this one casting Canter Spell. And I would like to gallop, or canter, I guess, at Ethan.
Oh, God.
Which is actually an ability called Trampling Charge, where if I move
Okay.
at least 20 feet straight toward a creature and hit it with my hooves on the same turn, it must succeed in a DC 14 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Ethan is already prone. Ethan is lying down on the top of this to try and line up the crossbow.
How far am I from the other end of the carriage?
From the far end of the one you're on,
Yeah,
about 45
the
feet.
other edge. Oh, okay. In that case, I'll be out of shot. I'll be out of sight, or you can take another shot. I would like to canter down to the end of the carriage, and then canter down the side of the carriage. Because
Okay.
I can do that because I'm a spider climbing horse.
That's so cursed.
It's such a weird image.
God.
So that's 60 feet of movement. What's the door situation here?
You have 2 doors. There is one door in front, both are closed, and there is one door behind.
I will mind link with Rudy and go, hey, Rudy, there's someone on the roof who tried to shoot me. Also, I'm at the other end of the carriage and there are 2 doors, one back into the carriage that we haven't gone to get and one into the rest of the train. Also, I'm a horse right now.
Why?
Yeah.
I wanted to move quickly, and bipedals are not great at that. Apart from some squirrels.
Okay.
What should I do? Where shall I go? You're the leader, damn it!
Well, what's the resonator's inside that carriage? So if you can get to the front of the train, we need somebody to persuade the driver to take it in a different direction. Can you get Pat? Can you get Mook there?
I absolutely can get Mook to the front of the train.
Oh, I see where this is going. It is going to be boss. Any bonuses you want to use, Vic?
No, I can't do any of my bonus actions while I'm being a horse. I'll just sort of stand between the 2 doors and just... Can I use a bit more movement? Just to kind of look up at Mook to the side, just wave a hoof, and then duck back down.
Yeah. Mac. Actually, one moment. Just checking that no one else wants to do a certain thing. No. Mac. Your go.
Okay. So, mission now is to get forward for me, and Falchion's going to come with me. So can I can dash.
You can dash to the
big are
other
these
end.
carriages? Yeah. So I can do that. Can I open the door? Do I have enough to open the 2 doors so that people can start moving through?
The door out of this carriage had already been left open.
Okay.
The one into the next carriage has not yet been opened. That's where Kane currently is. If you wanted to, then you could.
Okay, yeah, I want to open that then, definitely.
Okay, as you open that door, you are deafened by the noise of electricity firing, the noise of pistons going, the noise of metal elements slamming against each other, mechanical whirring. It is so loud and so intense, and you can't even see what's through there because of all these mechanical bits right on the other side of the door that are currently in motion.
Almost like the whole carriage is made up of this thing?
Yes, almost like the entire carriage is this thing.
Okay, the carriages that behind us, when they got separated off, are they held up by electromagnetics? Did they immediately just kind of go off the tracks?
They basically, in the bottom of the carriage, you have conductor stones, and on the actual ground, you have other conductor stones. However, because there's no air elemental at the front, which manifests like lightning around the front of the carriage and then lightning goes between them, there's nothing going between those conductor stones.
Okay.
So what you probably kind of, if you ever see any bits like the lines curving so you start to see where you've been, it's only a couple of seconds so far, it's only a few seconds, but you see it starting to wobble and veer as though it's going to race off the track any moment.
Okay. Right. I'm going to do that. So is there space that the tiefling would have gone through this next carriage? Is there does it look like you can weave your way through this stuff?
It does look like you could weave your way through.
Okay. But that'll
If
be...
she has got through, she's going to have a horse-shaped surprise at the other end.
Yeah. But that's all my action for this turn, so that'll be... for next turn.
Cool. It is indeed the tiefling's turn. So you kind of just put your hoof up to wave. Right. So
I would like to put it and then come back down so I'm on the platform. So if you try to come through the door, there's a horse there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will need you to make an attack. Because basically, you don't see where she's come out of the carriage. She doesn't come out of the door that's right next to you. And you can see that actually that door looks a bit more reinforced, like there's some kind of mechanical locks and stuff involved in it. However, climbing round the edge of the carriage and then to the gap between them is the tiefling. She is going to try and dive for the door that's behind you to the next carriage. Make an attack of opportunity.
I'm attacking with the hooves. So that's a 25 to hit. Because I rolled a 19 on the dice.
She's not going to bother to parry.
Can I sort of use this to, like, I kind of want to butter off the side of the train. Like, rearing up, like,
I'm going to let her make a dex save.
Okay.
To avoid being thrown
damage. Well, not much damage.
That's a 15. How much was the damage?
She takes 8 points of damage.
Okay, so you managed to buff her back, but she is now still clinging on to the side of this carriage, but you've managed to stop her going into the next one.
How confused is she?
You
just
get this.
feel like she should be a bit confused. There's a horse on the train now. There wasn't one earlier.
She's taking it surprisingly in her stride.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
With the dignity that behooves someone of her station.
Hey! That's the pun I was looking for.
Ward.
Yeah, so I suppose we need to get through, really.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably actually safe for me to, with my abilities, I probably actually find it easier to get through in a dexterous way than trying to climb with strength over the top. So I guess I will go in and try and get through. Would that be my action? If I'm like trying to get through obstacles, sort of pistony?
I'll count it as part of your movement. Because it's yeah.
Cool. Okay, is that a dex saving throw?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hopefully it's not going to be a 1. It's not a 1. It's an 8. It's a 10. I rolled a 10.
It's a 10. So you do manage to get through. You kind of go past one piston, which is out that way, and there's one that's out that way, but then a final one hits you, and you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as you are just knocked probably like in the torso by this, but you're at least through them, and you now have a bit more view of what's in front of you, which is a series of almost like kind of electricity generators that are cylinders that stand vertical along the walls of this carriage. A huge number of pipes and wires that seem to connect and go all around. Still this deafening sound of everything in here. The weirdest thing probably is that it looks like this carriage just disappears into darkness. You can't see the far end of this carriage. About 40 feet or so down, darkness. And that's what you can see. Would you like to take any action?
It's difficult because my instinct is to try and just very quickly destroy this, but also I really don't know what's going on. But also Ward is really not perceptive at all. Can I try and work out with something like Arcana what I think is happening with the machine, like what here is the best thing to target? Is this actually the resonator, or is this some sort of...
If you want, I'll let you do that. I will count that as your action because it involves quite a lot of figuring out. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Roll investigation or Arcana, whichever you prefer.
Okay. Good dice rolls, please. Like one good dice roll.
What is it?
That would be a 28. I rolled a natural 20.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So, and you're just trying to figure out if this is the resonator, what to do, that kind of thing.
Yeah, basically, what do I think is the most effective way to destroy this? Am I in the right place to do that? Like, how can I really fuck this thing up?
Okay. And with the 28, you definitely get a lot of that info.
I'd like to think so.
So this is the resonator. Basically, it looks like a carriage has been hollowed out to its absolute shell, and the resonator has been built inside of it, taking up the full length, breadth, height of the carriage. The darkness at the end, you know that a Mabaran Resonator draws from Mabar or Mabar the endless night. And so it seems like that darkness is possibly representative of the endless night seeping into this world because of the use. So you imagine that is basically the center of its power. However, with your understanding of like vehicles, machinery, and that incredibly high roll, you would also guess that this is the kind of thing where there isn't such thing as just like a one and done. It will be a chain reaction. So you also don't know what danger you potentially put yourselves and others in, because if one part of this blows up, this part might blow up, this part, like the whole carriage might fall apart. But it's definitely the far end, that darkness.
That's a bit good.
Arcana that you rolled, or investigation, just out of curiosity?
Arcana.
Cool. That is, and you also probably know that like piping and stuff like that, part of the resonator is almost like sending particles at high speed to try and kind of amp up the power of something. So probably these pipes also incorporate some of the shadow and the darkness that you can see at the far end.
Do I think that by going through the shadow I would be entering like another plane or something? Like, is that planar magic?
You don't think it's planar magic.
Okay. But Grace's instincts say if I go through that, it's going to be super dangerous.
That's a fair instinct.
Feels, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that is, I'm pretty sure that's my full whack.
Okay. Rudy.
Yeah, okay, so I'm still in the other carriage, aren't I? I run. Well, first of all, Sidekick I haven't used at all yet. So Sidekick runs up on top of the carriage with the resonator in it, and I want to know does he see any way that violence came out of the carriage? Metagaming slightly, but
that's all right, because like in owl mode he can move around quite a bit. There is a side door, like a cargo kind of sliding door at the side. Okay. Aside from that, all like no windows, all that kind of thing. Vic?
Yeah, also worth pointing out, because you're mind link, I didn't have to initiate that. You can just ask Aoife at any time. Like, yeah, I know,
Rudy doesn't know that violence has come out the side door and all the rest of it. But yeah, so and with my telepathic link, I am aware, Rudy is aware that there's this door. So I think looking at all of the pistons and everything, I want to climb up and start heading for that door.
Okay. Just make me an athletics check for climbing and staying stable and holding on tight.
Oh my god, that's a 9.
Yikes.
I rolled a 2.
I think just from like, it's just you being so careful, so you only actually move like 10 feet rather than 30.
Has Rudy attacked someone or been attacked in the last round? Because otherwise you could still be... Okay, yeah.
Yeah, your rage will
dissipate.
Yeah.
Okay. Mukt.
Oh.
Over to you.
I feel like the only information and threat that I can deal with, other than like horse waving, which doesn't really feel like I don't know what that means,
deeply threatening,
is to take out this person that was trying to take out Aoife. So I guess if I can, I would move up to Ethan and try to attack Ethan with my rapier.
That's melee. That'll be an advantage because Ethan's currently prone.
Oh, sick.
Would you say that if you're trying to attack and get Ethan, that you're doing an Ethan hunt?
Boo!
Could say that. You could.
I would say that, yes. And I would look into the camera. So I rolled a 26.
That will definitely hit.
Cool. I would also like to use one of my bardic inspirations to add Psychic Blades, which is
Sweet.
an additional 3d6 of psychic damage to a target that I hit with a weapon attack.
Yeah.
So
See.
What does that like mean? What does that mean of like what does the camera see? What are you doing to this man? Like
I think what I'm doing is I'm like the way that I think about it is if you imagine Zorro, you know when Zorro does the sort of like stuff before like he fights the people he fights. It's like trying to like psychologically damage them with my flashiness. That's how I feel.
Amazing.
Which is probably is not really how College of Whispers is probably built aesthetically.
Oh no, I love
it. So okay, so the D8 was an 8, which is good. And then so that's going to be 12 plus 11 psychic damage. So that's 20. Can't do maths. 23.
23 points of damage.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Fuck him up.
Poor Ethan.
Yeah, I'm going to describe this. Oh,
I just want to say I haven't been told explicitly, even though we made a joke about it, what the Mabaran Resonator does, have I?
No.
Right. Yes, I'm definitely doing lethal damage.
Oh no.
So with that damage, so everyone's aware. Ethan did not survive that. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I think just with the sheer force of it and the fact that you managed to kill him, there's just this kind of as the shock runs through his body and tumbles down the top of the carriage, but still carrying the crossbow. The crossbow like pins in. And fixes him kind of like in that position on the carriage. Okay. Do you have any you've used a bonus, haven't you? Because you used your blades?
Yeah.
Can I just, sorry, I want to just pause. Yeah. I just want to check. Sorry, Grace, are you okay? Because I saw facial responses, so I wanted to make sure that wasn't too much.
Yes. No, that was a sort of a yikes facial expression rather than a deep horror facial expression. So thank you for checking.
Cool. Yes, you can use some more movement if you want, but you've used your bonus and your action.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like being on top. Like, if I can get down, and I'm just gonna, and that is said seriously. Yes. There's no, I just don't. That's it.
Okay, yeah, you can get down.
We are children
to the other side, and you're basically coming to the point where because Mac's there, Rudy's nearby, Kane is there as well, so you're all now in that spot. It's actually Kane's turn. How persuasive are you? This is at Mukt.
Very.
Any issue with teleporting?
I don't. I mean, I can. As in, I can't. Is that what I'm confused?
Are you okay to teleport? I can help. Holding up this disc.
Oh yes, Yes, I don't like it here. There's danger.
Okay. Looks at Mac and Rudy, who are still just outside. You said you were good to try and destroy the resonator. We'll go to the front of the ship and try and catch up with I don't know her name, the horse.
Oh,
Aoife. Okay, and then grabs Mook's hand and activates. You see, it's almost like some kind of discs within discs that have been twisted to project a certain teleportation point. Just because it's more fun for you to roll this than for me, could you roll me a D100?
Oh,
because it's teleporting to somewhere.
It's more fun for me to roll it.
It's more fun for me. It's more fun for me if you roll it.
That is how you know that you're playing a Chloe Mashta game.
Yeah. D100.
The question's been asked. Can you roll a D100?
I got a 34.
34. Okay. So you're aiming for the inside of the thing. What? There's just kind of like this, as you almost seem to go out of reality and then come into reality, but you are on the front windshield essentially of this train, just splayed on top of it. So you're not inside, and also you can see through the window that there is a small femme halfling who is currently controlling the train and just looks at you, and you see like a little motion of just like waving her hand forward, and everyone feels this of just as the train starts to speed up as it is being pushed to its limit, because she is now aware things are going wrong and they need to get there quicker. It would be Ethan's turn, and because we're at the end of the round, I just need to, this is where I get to roll on my what happens to trains at high speeds table.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that is going to be a D4. Some of you may see this, some of you may not, but on each of the remaining carriages, so there's only 3 that are currently connected to each other. You've got the crew cart at the front, then the resonator, then the increasingly on fire dining cart, because that has started to spread. On each of them, there's just like these little pings, as on each of them, 3 panels from the outside, ping, 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 just come off as the train is stretched, and everyone is deafened for a round because of the sound of air rushing into these carriages, and being inside no longer protects you from that sound outside. And that's also true for those of you outside the train as well. The sound is louder because this train is being pushed harder and harder. Now, that said, it is Aoife's turn. You're still kind of there, and Violence is also still there. You can just see her.
Okay, I've had enough of this person. I would like to get onto the side of the carriage, back up round the corner of the carriage a little bit, and then canter along the side of the carriage to try and batter off the train.
So are you like horizontal?
Yeah, it's terrifying. Deeply cursed image.
Okay, so this is cantering round towards Violence, yes?
This is cantering round towards Violence mechanically using trampling charge.
Okay. So yeah, head towards Violence.
I have to roll to try and hit her. Does a gotta go to one thing. Does a 16 hit?
Unfortunately not.
Fuck.
Ooh.
So
Well, that sucks.
yeah, she just manages to like flatten herself against the train. But what I now love is we've got like 2 people on the very front. We've got this weird duel between a horse and a tiefling on one side, and then we've got everyone else who's trying to get into the resonator. Do you have any bonuses that you would like to use, Vic?
How many carriages are there from where I am to where the driver is?
It's the next carriage along.
And how long are the carriages?
Oh, sorry, if there's confusion, I can...
trampling charge a bonus action? Don't you get to do trampling charge and the hoof attack as a bonus action if you move more than 20 foot? Or am I imagining that?
No, it's if the target is if I manage to knock them over, I can then make another attack as a bonus action. But yeah, if I miss, how long are the carriages?
60 feet.
Use my actions. She's hanging off the side of a train. What's she gonna do? Yeah. If I run away from her, am I gonna get attack opportunity?
Yes.
Well, I don't want that.
She
Okay,
will
I'll
definitely take that. Okay, so you're just kind of locked in this like weird pose with her.
Yeah.
Cool. The next person's turn.
No.
The next person's turn. We haven't met this person yet, and it's probably only Ward who sees her. But as you are in the carriage and looking at the darkness up ahead with these pistons, with this electricity, with these pipes all running around, and the increasing like deafening nature of, you can see like shards of light coming in from where the edges of the train has been stripped back because it's now going even faster. What you see coming out of this darkness is this huge hulking mishmash of a warforged who looks like they're constructed from so many different parts of different warforged, some kind of black metal, some rusted brown, some kind of brand new shining green, and this just hulking figure just comes through the shadows, breaking out of the darkness, and fixes their eyes on you, her eyes on you. And that's where we're going to pause for our break. On that cheery note, so we're just going to take like a 5-10 minute break, and then we're going to see how on earth this all shakes out. We will see you super soon. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, hello and welcome back. We are in the final half of the final episode of Eberron Terminus.
Oh my god.
For anyone who's joining or needs a recap, Ward is inside a Mabaran Resonator and a strange Warforged figure has just appeared out of literal magical darkness. Rudy and Mac are at the entranceway to that Resonator or trying to climb on top of it to get round it. Mukt is with their ally Kane, and they are both currently on the front windshield essentially of this train, which is now moving at like double speed because the driver has seen that stuff is starting to go pear-shaped and wants to just get past any opportunities to derail or divert the train. And Aoife is currently a horse who is spider climbed and is combating in combat with the tiefling violence on the side of the train. That's where we are. That's what we're facing right now. And we left off with Ward seeing Vakri, who you can probably assume is Vakri because you've heard of this character but haven't yet seen her. Seemingly a Warforged coming out of this darkness, looking at you, and just holds up one of these huge hulking hands which has different pieces of Warforged. And I'm going to need you to make... Oh, actually, it's me first. Depends how I do, whether you have to make a roll. Oh man, I shouldn't... I'm sticking with the rainbow dice, because that was a 6. So this ray of kind of greenish energy that almost has that sound of that optical, that aural illusion that's going up and down at the same time and makes you feel like a little bit sick and nauseated, just flashes past you. I have to check because if there is a missed hit, nope, that's fine. And you just see what is basically a ray of sickness just past you down the train carriage. And with that not working, Vakri just kind of like clicks all of her Warforged fingers, like bending them back, and starts moving towards you. About 20 feet.
Can I say that it doesn't work because Ward it's not come up so far, but Ward is partially hearing and doesn't have hearing on one side of from one of their audio receptors, as it were, and like I'm imagining the like almost like a surround sound kind of intention where there would be like rising and like flowing sound from one side, but like they're only getting the input from one side, and that's like part of why that doesn't work.
Cool. That's awesome. So on to Mac.
Okay, so the first action is for both Balshan and I to try and get through these Galaxy Quest chompers.
Yeah. That's dex saves for you both.
Okay, so dex save. Oh, good. I'm really good at that. Oh, that is 19 on the dice. That's 20 for me.
Okay.
And Falchion is actually better than I am. So let's see what we can do here. Dex save is 3. Oh, that's a 9 for Falchion.
Okay, wow. You managed to really easily weave your way past these quite intuitively. However, Falchion gets snarled up just in one of them, kind of being like lower on the ground, and takes 4 points of bludgeoning damage. Okay. But does come out the other side, and you can now see and hear everything that Ward does. Ward has seen and heard.
Yeah. So we come through, and my intention is to try and focus on where this device is going to be. But I now see that Ward is facing. Is Ward facing off against someone yet, or has this Warforged come forward?
Vakri has walked forward. Okay. So, and you probably kind of as you come through, you're seeing Vakri in the process of walking towards Ward. Walking towards Ward. The Warforged walked towards Ward.
Who's also a Warforged.
Warforged walked towards the Warforged Ward.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what you see.
Yes. What we've obviously worked together a lot, Ward and I. What do I know of Ward's abilities? Are you melee? Would you benefit, for example, from being larger than you are?
You would know that Ward has some melee abilities, but I would say that it was probably more like last resort for Ward than they're like they can and probably would do a respectable amount of damage, but they probably wouldn't last as long in melee as necessarily someone else would.
Okay, all right. In which case then,
but you could hold it for Rudy.
Oh yeah, I'll hold it. We'll see who else comes along. I am then going to raise my crossbow and fire twice, because right now we know what this device does. We know it's bad. Anyone who's protecting this thing just has to go down. So
okay, fire on Valkyrie.
Okay, so then.
Are you firing on Valkyrie or are you firing on the resonator?
No, I'm fine. No, I'm definitely firing on Valkyrie. Okay. I don't want to just shoot the resonator until we know exactly how it is. I'm assuming we have to cut a red wire or a blue wire at some point. That's probably how we take that down. That is 19. The first one.
Just hits.
Just hits. Okay. Wow. Rough. Okay. Oh, boo! That one won't hit then. But I'll do D6. Oh, I'll do max damage though. So that's 10 damage.
Okay, nice one.
Cool.
And is that just with your crossbow?
My nice ultra pro thingies. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so I've moved. I've done that, and as a bonus action, I become my long shifter form, and Mac's face changes, and he now has the head of a hyena.
Amazing.
It's very like werewolfy. Is it the like shakes his head and it like starts coming forward?
I feel like it's quicker than that. I feel like it's kind of less and it's more of like you just almost an instant. There's a little bit of a change if you were to slow it down, but it's very quick. It's just a kind of
It's kind of the sound is echoed throughout metal and stuff, but you can tell that it's a humanoid voice internally. You just hear a voice coming from this Warforged figure. Well, you would be an asset, wouldn't you? And it is Violence's turn, who is still just like holding on and just kind of has a arcane focus in her hand. This kind of gnarled dark black piece of wood essentially that has like knuckle dusters to go around, and is holding on whilst angling this towards you. Now I think we're gonna go with this one. I'm just checking what she's gonna cast on you, to keep with a bit of a theme from earlier. Right, so nope, that dice has betrayed me, this one. That's a 19 on the dice. I'm assuming your armor class.
Oh yeah.
My armor class as a horse is like 11.
Yeah, okay, so just points us towards you, and this mote of fire just bolts out towards the horse. And you take some fire damage. You take 3 fire damage. Which is, however, that is going to be a concentration check.
It is. 1 second.
On spider climb.
Cool. So I've got to beat 10, right?
Yes, it's 10 or half the damage, whichever is higher.
10 is significantly higher than 1.5. Do I roll? I roll with the horse's stats, don't I? Because I'm a horse.
It's physical stat.
So I have, it's +1, so I have exactly a 50% chance of pretty much doing this. Yeah, I rolled a 16. I'm still on. Nice. I'm still Sweet. Spider climbing, baby. How to get a load than that to knock a horse with its hooves.
You just hear through kind of grit. It's still a bit hard to hear. You're all technically deafened, but through gritted teeth, there's a what are you? And who? God damn it! For like gritted teeth through violence.
Would you allow me, because it's not allowed to do it, I would like to return telepathically and just go, I'm a horse, motherfucker.
You can if you want. It will break mind link with Rudy.
Oh.
Oh, I think it is an action actually to like switch that. Oh no, you just have natural
it's an
telepathy.
action to maintain the hour. I can just do it to anyone within 50 feet as a.
Sorry, yes, mind link and telepathy. Yeah, okay, yeah, you say that.
I'm a horse, motherfucker.
What kind of horse? I
just wink.
Wait,
what? Got their eyes on either side of their head, so do you need to like...
Ward.
Extremely cursed.
Oh god.
Ward, is your go.
Okay, right, okay. So the scene is, we are in the middle of this like crunching machine, everything, and there is this big lady who looks like a warforged.
As she gets closer, you can kind of see that there's a humanoid inside, and the warforged is almost like an exoskeleton that she's wearing.
Okay.
That's cool.
Oh boy, do I think... I can't really talk to her right now because I can't hear because I'm deafened. Do I think that I would be able to damage her armor and leave her more vulnerable?
Yep.
Okay.
Essentially what she has is just some very advanced armor.
Yeah. But do I think that that's something that I would be able to disavow her of? I don't know if that's the right use of the word. That's
yeah.
Cool. But,
you think that's possible?
Okay. Okay, what Ward is going to do, as they're being sort of like almost showdowned against with this woman, they sort of like almost crouch to the ground and put one hand on the ground, and there's like this sort of like shake and ripple through the ground, and their like coat starts to wave up with this ripple, and there's this sound like nothing that anyone has ever heard before, if anyone could hear, and this shockwave ripples out in all directions from them. It doesn't hit Matt because of my abilities as an evocation. It doesn't hit Mac because of my abilities as an evocation wizard, or it doesn't hit Falchion either. But it will hit the resonator, and it will also hit Vakri. I'm going to cast Shatter.
Nice.
And it's the sort of thing where, like, I am trying to hurt her, but if I can, it's very effective on inorganic material.
Yeah.
So if there's a way that I can destroy her armor or damage her armor, I would really like to do that, because it, like, as a warforged who's been built for this and like seen hundreds of thousands of other warforged destroyed because of what humans have done, like seeing someone who appears to be a human using what appeared to me to be like warforged bodies, really doesn't vibe. Okay, so that would be a Constitution saving throw for her. I don't know how that would work with the resonator, and I don't know how that would work with the armor.
Okay. Like, she just has an adjusted con with the armor. However, that's a 3 on the dice, so I've got a feeling that it's not passed.
That's not going. Do you know that's just not going to do it?
For the resonator, I'm just going to make a flat roll.
Okay. It has disadvantage
because it's inorganic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard to get lower than a 3, isn't it?
There's 2
Damn
numbers.
it, there was a 19. Okay, roll damage on this.
Okay.
And when you say resonator, no, actually, that's we'll get to that in a second.
Hate that.
It's me just remembering like the entire carriage as the resonator.
Yeah, Chloe. Yes.
Okay.
The area of effect, although the area of effect is only 10 foot.
10 foot. Okay. Is that radius? Radius?
Yeah, it's a 10-foot radius.
Cool.
So that is not massive damage. That's only 11 points of damage.
Still pretty good. You see like that reverberating through Vakri's exoskeleton, and you see small pieces, kind of like little plates coming off and connectors starting to tear. In terms of the resonator, what happens is in the little area around you, there's a couple of electrical generators and there's pipes and such. Like, 2 of the pipes burst and this kind of dark smoke just starts pouring out of them, kind of just leaking out of there.
We're fine.
They
Probably
are
fine.
10 feet away from you, so you're okay. And
Probably
the electrical generators, they flare out because basically the glass smashes and suddenly there's kind of little bolts of electricity that are weaving their way into the space, and you take 5 lightning damage from being so close to them, because now this is like a difficult area to pass through because of all of this lightning. However, you've done serious damage to elements of the resonator, and you see like a kind of a wavering of the shadows at the end. You almost think you see like the shape of the end of the carriage, but then the shadow comes back in. And
I'm still more than 5 foot away from Bakri, right?
yes,
I would like to back the fuck away, please. I would like to be further away from her than I am now. Preferably slightly further away than Mac is.
okay.
Ward is starting to look pretty rough.
Yeah.
Ward is starting to like I imagine there's like a slight sort of like buckling almost in one of their legs as they're trying to sort of get back away. They're not looking great.
Rudy, you've used a little bit of your speed because you had trouble climbing up top.
Yeah.
Now you can see up top. You've actually can you just make me a dex save?
15.
15. You are not hit by the plate that peels off the top of this carriage and just goes past your head. However, it does mean there is also now a hole in the top of this carriage. What would you like to do?
I'd wanted to get into the carriage and avoid all of the pistons and everything. So I was going for the door, but seeing this plate come off the top of the carriage, I want to go to like the middle of the carriage and I just want to knock fuck out of the roof and bash a hole in it if possible.
That's fine. The plate has created a hole because the entire thing was absolutely
Like how
stripped
big
back.
a hole? How big a hole is that?
It's like a little bit of a squeeze, but you would be able to get through it.
Oh right, okay, cool. I was imagining something much smaller.
No, you were very lucky with that deck save.
Okay, right. In that case, then, yeah, I want to drop inside. So where do I land when I drop inside?
Roll me a d6. For
One.
roughly where you are. 1? Okay. You land... Let me just see.
On top of Bakri, fantastic! Yay!
You land kind of towards the side, about the same distance down as Ward is. So past the pistons, but you take 2 points of necrotic damage because you drop down into the cloud of strange dark smoke that is just billowing and firing out of these broken pipes.
Okay. I gotta drop in. I'm holding my hammer. I just turn. Tell me what to hit.
You can't hear us, but
we're
everyone's
so we wouldn't hear that.
You've still got
Yeah.
a couple of turns until the deafened effect wears off because it's all of the sounds, especially within the resonator.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that there is only one other person in here.
Okay. Yeah, I guess then. Yeah, I take a swing at Bakri
Okay.
with my big maul. Actually, I want to move, so I'm 10. I want to move up to Vakri, in fact,
Okay.
And activate my rage again, making sure I'm not.
Yeah, you can just about position yourself. Yeah.
Cool. So Vakri instantly takes 3 fire damage, and I rolled badly on that, but what was it? So it's a 14 to hit.
I'm afraid that's not gonna.
No. Okay.
No, it's almost just like a huge clang that seems to have no impact upon this armor. Okay, so we then move to Mukt. You're
quickly, sorry.
Sidekick, of course.
Sidekick is still outside and notices is basically around Aoife and Violet, and I'd like to hold an action to get in Violet's face on her next turn and distract her from whatever she's doing, and then zip out again, because in owl mode Sidekick has flyby, so it doesn't get an opportunity attack.
Cool, okay, so Sidekick's gonna go and kind of complicate things for Violence.
Yes.
Amazing. Mukt, you're on the front of the train.
Yeah.
With a very wide-eyed halfling staring back.
Is it like a kind of like the front of like a bullet train that's very like slanted and big open glass?
It's slanted. You're kind of slanted whilst you're on what I'm calling the windshield. Pretty sure that's not the official term. But you've got the cow catcher, which is almost like that kind of big grate, almost snowplow style grate, which is further down in front of you.
So can I see if there's any entrances into the front carriage, like that are close to where, like either like on the top of the train or on the side of the train?
There is a door just to the side.
Oh.
Like you'd need to kind of reach round and move round. You can't reach it from here, but there is a door almost like in a kind of cockpit style.
Can I tell if it looks locked from a distance behind the windshield?
You don't see anything specific, but however, you don't know if it's been arcane locked, you don't know what mechanics are in play here.
Okay. I would like to I don't know which side of me that Kane is on, but I would like to climb.
Kane's on the left and you're on the right and the door's on the right, so you don't have to awkwardly...
In which case then I would try and like climb round and open the door and go inside safely. Okay,
can I get an athletics or acrobatics check, depending on how you're trying to do this, to get round to the door?
I'm trying to be like acrobatic.
Okay.
Because I don't want to die. That is the reason.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What was it?
I'm adding another tally.
For the natural one. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's some bad luck.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I hold on to my featherfall token.
I can't believe Mukt's gonna just not be in the rest of the game.
It's Kane's go. Kane's go is directly after yours. So I'm gonna make some rolls for Kane so that we know what happens, because since Kane goes straight after you. Okay, so this is... That's a 15 on Dex on the dice, and then strength. Okay.
Definitely make my glamour weave tuxedo look like wings in hope that
Not a pun. Just in case they were built in.
Kane gets a 16 on the Dex roll to respond in time, and gets a 14 on the strength. So what happens is, with that one, you do lose contact with the train. You begin to actually fall. You slightly tumble off. You've got your featherfall token, which automatically activates. So you do not immediately hit the ground. Kane, incredibly swiftly, just kind of levers himself across, puts out an arm, grabs you, and is strong enough to hold you on. But you are still not touching the train. You are only in contact with the train because of Kane. And that
am I lighter for Kane to hold because of the featherfall, or it's just stopping me from going quickly?
Featherfall doesn't technically change your weight, it just changes the speed at which you fall. So it's not as difficult for Kane to hold on because there's like that little buffering, but it doesn't make you kind of so light that he can just like whoop you back on top.
Cool. Okay.
I'm sorry, this is what I meant about teleporting. Sometimes it doesn't go smoothly. Just
don't do it in the future. I can't hear.
You can't quite hear each other yet. However, we get to the end of the round, and people are no longer deafened, which is lovely. The train is still being pushed to its limit, but just holds together, and nothing complicates things for this round in terms of August, the individual who's at the front of the train, like pushing it further and further. We then come back to Aoife with violence on the side of the train, with sidekick now kind of up in Violence's space.
Or as it should be, we now return you to the adventures of Spider Horse.
I'm having that arcane focus.
How are you going to get off her whilst you are a horse with hooves?
Horse got big teeth, let me tell you. Horse got big fucking teeth.
Yeah, you froze me a little bit there, but I assume I could see where it was going, and the arch with is my massive teeth attached to my really big head.
Okay, do you have some kind of bite attack as a horse? In terms of knowing what to use here?
No, I just have jaws. I think it's a stick, right?
It's a stick. As I said, there's a knuckle duster element to it, so it's like it's rings on her hand.
I'm taking the hand too if I need to.
Okay, I just want to check, is everyone all right with that? Because I know that's slightly more like gruesome imagery than some other bits and pieces.
I'm going for just the knuckle busters, but if that is the cost, that is the cost.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Can you roll me an attack first, and we'll see how this plays out, because it's a little bit trying to disarm someone and such like is a little bit fiddly.
Yes, that is a 21. Wait, 16 plus 6. 22.
22. Okay. With that, because technically you can't disarm someone without a special ability to do so, or if like someone's put something down or something like that. What I'll say with 22 is you bite violence on her arm, and she's not fully disarmed, but she does open up her hand like with the pain of it, and so there's a chance it might slip off, but you don't know quite yet. And also trying to mechanically do stuff with the horse mouth is a bit too tricky. But you've at least managed to kind of make that a little bit easier.
And can I use my movement, maneuver myself that I'm sort of standing upright again on the gap between if she's hanging on the edge, that I'm like standing on the platform?
She'll get an attack of opportunity if you want to risk it.
Can I not do it while staying in melee with her?
No, because you'd be kind of moving to move around that corner is moving out of her range.
No, okay, in that case, no, leave it. I'd rather stay up because, yeah.
Cool, okay. We are back inside the resonator, and it is Vakrie's turn. Is going to look at all of you.
She can make menacing speeches now, because we can actually hear her.
Yeah.
Well, she could have been doing that.
Everyone can actually hear each other now.
It's time to monologue.
I know
She's
that's
been
what you
monologuing.
want.
You just cut into the end of it. She's like, and that is why you will not do this.
Who got closest to Vakrie? It was Rudy, right?
Rudy.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, geez. That's a 1.
Ali.
So Vakrie, I think Vakrie goes out to put a hand on your shoulder, like this huge hulking metal hand, and you start to see like these wisps of black kind of necrotic energy pour out, but as she does that, so, like the train just like slightly jolts going at this kind of a speed, and she's just knocked off her balance and into, because it's a nat 1, into one of the electrical generators at the side, and takes 8 points of damage.
Ooh.
Nice.
And you see the electricity briefly like course over her armor with that metal conductor. And Vakrie's just at the side being like, you won't win. Even if you think it's a win, it won't be a win. You can't win against us. And that's what you get from Vakrie.
We don't need to win, we just need to stop you.
I'll be very impressed to see how you do that. Mac, it's your go.
Okay. So Bakri is there. I am actually going to, having seen the electricity damage Bakri. Oh, but before I do this, now that we can all hear, I'm going to shout, does anybody see the shard?
None of you can.
And I'm guessing no one will respond because none of us have seen it yet.
You can make guesses as to where it is.
Yeah. Do we,
as we
do we
understand
get any
it,
sense of...
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
two people at once.
This whole... This whole carriage is the resonator. Do we get any kind of sense of some bit of it being a central bit, or does it all kind of look very similar?
There is the area down the far end where all of this magical darkness is emanating out of.
Very, very black. Okay, so we're going to have to get by Thackeray anyway. Right. So I'm going to move forward. So I'm standing toe to toe. So I'm standing next to Rudy. And I am going to reach out and I am going to grab Thackeray. And I'm going to say, we'll let you know when we're winning, okay? And I'm going to do shock and grasp, which is I'm doing with advantage because wearing metal armor, right? The first one was a 19, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit.
Definitely, yeah, you're definitely hitting. Make sure, just in case you get a nat 20.
No, I rolled. I got 5 on the second one. So yeah, 25 will hit. I will do 2 d8 damage, which is a 6 and a 4. So I do 10 damage.
Okay. Thackeray's...
And because...
The exoskeleton is looking incredibly beaten and battered, and more pieces are starting to come off. Indeed, in that moment, Thackeray's right arm becomes exposed because that all just falls off.
Cool. And I would normally do I would normally be able to do a shot as a bonus action, but I'm actually, because I'm transformed and because I'm feeling a little bit animalistic, because of my blood is up, I just bite Thackeray as an additional action, as my bonus action.
Go for it.
And that is a nat 20. So
jeez. Okay, roll damage on that.
Sensational.
rough.
Do that. It's D6, but I roll that twice. Oh, nice. 5 and 4 is, and that's an additional 10 damage.
Lordy. Lordy. You can see that, like, it looks like in many cases Thackeray's exoskeleton is now hanging on by a thread.
Cool.
There's a lot of,
and
like,
does it,
frayed
now that
elements.
stuff is falling off, do we see something inside? Do we see something beneath this?
You start to see, like, elements of her face and such. Like, she looks like a humanoid. Quite pale skin and very pale hair as well. Very pale blonde hair, almost silvery, but that's about it.
Cool.
Anything else you want to do?
No, that's my action.
Anything for Falchion?
No, Falchion's going to use reaction based on what happens next.
Okay. Violence is on the edge, like, kind of trying to hold on to this, and hasn't had much luck with spells against this horse. Horse is also telepathic. Can feel that actually the trainer's got way faster. She's gonna try something. She feels backed into a corner and worries that this is the only thing that she can do. Can you make me a strength athletics check? Because I'm going to count this as a form of grapple.
Okay, I can, because Aoife is terrible at that, but the horse is really good.
Cool.
And also violence gets disadvantage with
Because of
sidekick in her face.
Okay, that is
that one.
a athletics. That's a 19.
Damn it. You get the sense that Violence is trying to grapple on and technically, like, ride you as a horse. thinking that this might actually be the safest manner of like engaging with you and avoiding you being able to easily attack her. However, she does not do well. She doesn't manage to match you, and so just ends up kind of like scrapping with you physically.
Telepathically, do you mind?
Do you mind ruining all our... It's... is all you get back mentally, because she's kind of flailing and trying to, and don't let that fall off her finger, and all those kind of things. It is then back to Ward.
Okay. What? So the Valkyrie is almost exposed.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. Can I, as a free action, just? Why are you doing this? Like, why don't you think we can stop you?
Because all you ever have, all any of you ever have, is death as a threat, and that's not a threat to us, and it doesn't stop us. That's why.
Things aren't always as simple as death. And I'm going to cast Maximilian Earthen Grasp out of the and the ward special comes plunging out of the floor, and I'm going to try to grapple her.
Okay, is that strength from me?
Yes, please.
Oh. That is a strength save. That is a 13.
She does not succeed. She is restrained and takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage. She takes 5 points of bludgeoning damage, but she is restrained.
And as this hand comes up, which presumably is like almost, it looks like it's almost built out of bits of resonator, because it just kind of comes out of the floor. So you see like weird pistons, and you see piping, and you see kind of glass and like with weird faint electrical spirals. As this hand comes up, it crunches around the exoskeleton and is the final kind of nail in the coffin of Valkyrie's exoskeleton. And now it is just Valkyrie, this Kalashtar woman, who is just trapped inside this hand in the center of the machine. Do you have any additional actions you'd like to take? Any bonuses or anything?
No, that's it. But I'm going to turn to Rudy and Mac and go, looks like what all she wants is really to die, so it looks like maybe we can rob her of that opportunity.
And it is now Rudy's turn.
I agree, as long as we can get this damn machine shut down. Like, so from Ward looking at it before, like, what? In fact, actually, no. Sorry. If Valkyrie's been the one controlling it, then do I know how she's controlling it? Is that obvious?
No, it's not necessarily clear how Valkyrie controls it.
If you just said if we can, whether we'll be able to stop this machine, I think Ward would say it looks like the center of the machine's power is coming from that darkness. That's I mean, it's going to be dangerous. I think it might hurt, but that's where the power is coming from. If we can stop that, we can stop the machine. That is as far as I understand. Correct, Chloe?
That seems fair.
Okay.
Well, I guess we better go and take a look. And Rudy walks towards the magical darkness.
Okay, with your movement you can start entering the magical darkness, so you're just walking into it?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you please make me a wisdom saving throw?
10.
Oh no.
Okay.
Rolled a 12.
You you walk into this darkness and you suddenly feel it kind of coursing all over your body, and you see this pedestal that has presumably, because there's this kind of faint weird glow inside of it, the dragon shard, but the moment you're there you are terrified of it. You can't deal with being this close to its presence and you are frightened. So mechanically, you've got disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while you can see this, and you can't willingly move closer. So you're currently out of reach of it, and you also can't move closer, and you're at disadvantage. As the darkness overwhelms you, do you have any bonuses, any actions you'd like to take?
I think, as much as anything, just because I want to keep my rage going, can I take out one of my canna and throw it at the thing, even though I'm frightened of it?
Yeah, doesn't say you can't attack it.
Cool.
So disadvantage.
So with disadvantage. Okay, so and I'm gonna use my inspiration, which is that a D8? Am I right?
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
So that is that's a dirty 20.
Okay, so you can see this kind of pulsing light that's slightly obscured because it's almost like it's within a cage, but you managed to ting that cage. Roll me damage.
6, 4. So that's 8 damage.
Okay, you chip off pieces of metal from that cage and start to see that it's slightly loosened inside that dragon shard.
And since I've still got a bonus action, I've got 2 weapon fighting, so I throw my other one as well.
Okay.
I don't have the inspiration this time.
I love that you're doing this all the while, like, your face looks terrified.
Yeah.
Well, in a fight or flight response, this is definitely a fight. So,
But it's perfect, isn't it? You've got this barbarian who's used to like pushing through emotions to battle, and like even though she's terrified, can still like do it.
So with the disadvantage, that's 12 to hit the second time.
Goes wide, and you can't see in the darkness where it goes off to.
Okay.
Cool. You are frightened, but you are there, and you can see kind of in this. The only thing that you can see within this magical darkness is like the faint greenish glow of what is seemingly a dragon shard. Mukt. Holding on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's like happy place, and then trying to climb up Kane's arm back onto the train, I guess.
Cool. Make me an athletics check. Because athletics feels the most.
If Kane is helping. Sort of.
I guess, yeah, like Kane is aiding through what he's doing, so you can roll at advantage.
Okay. 17.
17? Okay. You can actually get yourself there. Is the smallest ledge, like we're talking 15 centimeters at most, and so Halls helps to haul you up on this, and you're right in front of the door.
Okay.
I'll kind of say you've got like a bonus action and some movement, and that actually getting yourself on there was your action.
Can I try and open it with a bonus action, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I try and open the door?
Sure. You tried to open the door, and you opened the door because it wasn't locked. It was just suspicious. You pull this back, and what you just no, just from this kind of very worried-looking halfling who is right next to that door, trying to control this train. You can step inside.
Yes.
Okay, you can move inside, but that's as much as you're able to do.
I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. Kane uses, because basically he used his action to help you, but is able to kind of move inside, and you are now at least both inside the train, next to August, the train driver.
I can retire now. That's it. That's what I'm done.
That's it. He's out.
And the train is still being pushed to its absolute limits. I'm going to need a strength saving throw from everyone.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll for all the others.
I don't want to.
Do I get any advantages for being on spider climb?
Yes. Roll with advantage because you're spider climbing.
Thank God for that.
Matt, are you laughing with joy?
I might. Yeah, I mean, again though, I rolled a 2 and Kelsey rolled 16. It's ridiculous.
So, anyone who has rolled, let me just double check this. Anyone who has rolled underneath a 10.
Definitely.
Yep. Who's over a 10?
I rolled a natural 20 again.
But Falson's maybe on the 10.
I rolled 23.
Amazing. Anyone who rolled a 10
Awesome, man.
under a 10, you are thrown prone. As basically at this high speed, the train just over this little ridge that normally it would have so much more time to do, but everything just gets rocked. Yeah. August at the front of the train is just able to kind of hold on and stay upright. Violence fails the save. And so I'm gonna just check one thing. I mean, you have an attack of opportunity. Aoife has an attack of opportunity. Is there anything you'd like to do because violence is just about to get thrown?
I think if I can, as she goes, I'd like to try and get the arcane focus.
How?
So you mentioned it was loose on her hand. Just as she goes, like, try to grab off her hand as she flies past.
You might be able to knock it off, but in terms of grabbing it, that's going to be really hard. Because again, horse.
I am a horse. I forgot about being a horse.
Of course.
Of course.
No, I don't think do anything. This is her major bed. Lie in it. Yeah. I think telepathically, Aoife's just kind of go, not a horse. I'm a druid. When you force nature out, she sends me to defend her. Bye.
Violence is thrown, but having come from Shan, has a featherfall token in her pocket, but there's no one there to catch her. So as the train powers ahead, Violence is thrown and just and left standing in the middle of nowhere, but with a renewed sense of determination, with a much more concrete enemy to before, and has to watch this now, like, flames and smoke billowing out of the back of these 3 carriages, and just like gets back to her feet and just stands and watches as the train chugs away, driving away in front.
I was gonna do this on my next turn anyway, so could I like bring forward, because I was gonna drop Wild Shape. Oh, yeah, so is it possible to drop Wild Shape as she flies away so she can
It's
see
your
me turn
turn.
back into it? Oh, sick. Then as she flies away, the horse like raises a hoof and then it turns into Aoife just waving.
Just like, you can't see her expression, but it is one of just kind of bewilderment, but also like steely resolve.
She's going to be such a badass callback enemy in two Eberron, 2 Terminus.
Yeah.
So it is Vakri's turn.
Wait, do I get my action?
Oh yes, of course. Sorry.
The bonus action, drop it. So this door next to me.
Yeah.
Can I open it?
Yeah, if you want. This one requires a bit more strength, so can you make me a strength check? Because it's like a kind of much bigger cargo door to one side.
I'm not a horse anymore, so this is going to be a flat roll. That's a natural 20.
Sweet.
Just like so smooth. And I think with the natural 20, if you wanted to, you could open it, come like swing in and swing it shut behind you.
What I'm going to say that is, it's like Aoife's transforming, but like the horse muscles in her arm haven't quite gone yet. Allowed to get it open.
Nice. Cool. You are now inside the resonator. You are basically right next to the edge of the darkness. So to your right is the darkness near the front of the carriage, and you can see Mac on the ground. You can see Ward looking pretty worse for wear, and you can see this huge hand that currently has Vakri in its grasp. You can't see Rudy.
What did I miss?
Bad thing that way. I say almost dusting myself off as I'm just like been totally bumped on my ass.
If I have some movement left, I think we're going to. This is fucking stupid, but I can't see Rudy, and this is sort of what she was born. I'm going to walk into the darkness.
Okay.
Do you still have your link up with Rudy?
I do, yeah.
Wisdom save, please.
Come on, Druid.
Well, yeah, that's an 18. Oh, I have advantage because I'm a caster. So that's actually a 21. 21.
You start to feel this flood over you, but with your resilience, and maybe you kind of feel almost drawing from the energy and the comfort of your quarry spirit. It just floods past you, and it's still magical darkness, so you can communicate with Rudy if you want. You cannot see Rudy, but you can see this faint kind of glow. But you are inside the darkness now.
Okay.
Cool. It is Vakri's turn, but Vakri is restrained because of the hand.
Yeah.
Just seeing if there is anything.
She can make a strength check to try and escape the hand.
Yeah, I think that's what she's going to have to do, because a lot of these spells would involve her actually being able to touch people or move. That strength save is... Sorry, I just have to check. That is a 13.
She does not succeed.
Damn it. And you see Vakri almost going into like a kind of... There's a brief struggle, and then there's like a weird zen state of laser-like focus, and she seems to just be kind of letting cogs turn in her head.
I think Ward sort of like leans forward and go, "You can put on metal hands all you want, but some of us were created with them," and just sort of like hold that grasp tight.
Zen just like kind of doesn't respond, but has evidently heard you, but is making a very deliberate choice not to respond. Mac.
Someone's going to rise above the quip.
Okay.
Take the moral high ground.
Well, having been dumped on my ass, I'm kind of worried about this, how we're going here, because this train is clearly going too fast for its usual tracks.
Furious.
So I'm half caught between trying to knock out Bakri and heading forward into the darkness to try and get the thing. I think I'm gonna try and knock out Bakri.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna send Falchion forward.
Okay.
So that they're in the thick of stuff next round. So let's do, and I can do this twice. So,
you also have advantage because
I have advantage on
yeah.
Okay, so I'm imagining, so 18 on the first one.
Yeah,
That'll hit. Okay. And oh no, that's better. 22 definitely going to hit then. So how do we do this if it's just trying to knock somebody out?
Just make the attack roll with the damage as standard, but because you've announced that you want it to be non-lethal, if you take Vakri to 0, then Vakri will just be knocked out.
Okay, cool. So so that's 8 and that's 13, so 13 damage.
Okay, cool. You attack Vakri. Vakri is not knocked out.
Not knocked out. Okay.
You see like a moment of losing that focus and then trying to go back into that laser-like focus.
Okay. And I send Falchion moves at the end of my turn, so they will move into the darkness.
Can Falchion make me a wisdom saving throw? I have no idea how wise Falchion is.
Isn't Falchion a machine? Does Falchion have...
I think if Falchion has a wisdom stat.
Yeah, I was going to say though, it doesn't say, because there's certain things, can't be charmed I'm immune to charms, exhaustion, poison. I'm assuming none of that is a thing here.
It's not. I don't believe it's technically a charm.
Yeah.
Effect. Let me just check.
Falchion.
Actually,
I've got plus naught.
No, sorry, that's my bad. If you're immune to charm, you're not going to be frightened in this situation.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
Falchion manages to get away with it.
Seriously, like Wonder Hyena. It's like amazing. So Falchion will move forward to the point where they can see the more of the machine that's in this kind of darkness. If they see that there's a light, they'll definitely move towards that bit.
Cool. Falchion can move towards. It's just like a tiny faint glow, but it's the only thing visible in the darkness. And Falchion moves towards it.
Cool. That's my turn.
Okay. It is now Ward's turn. You have her restrained.
I admit I'm a little bit stuck on what to do. I don't think Ward would sit there hitting her until she's knocked out.
Yeah.
You've already done an amazing job restraining her. Is there?
She's restrained currently. Like the entire carriage is slightly falling apart of kind of the smoke that's billowing into the air and starting to like fill more and more of this carriage. You've got some of the broken electricity generators that are around. And also everyone else who's gone into the darkness.
I don't think that it would be a good idea for me to go into the darkness, because I think that it would hurt me, and there's the chance of me dropping the hand.
Are you able to do damage with the hand to someone who's inside it? You could try to knock Valkyrie unconscious, but that depends on Ward's attitude.
Yeah.
Little finger comes up and just goes.
Stop that. Yeah, I think honestly, if I'm being on, I think Ward would maybe try and tie her up, like get her properly restrained, because she can keep trying to make strength saving throws against her hand, but if she's tied up, she won't be able to do that. So if I pull out some rope from the adventurer's kit that we all always end up holding, and I'd like to make a sleight of hand check. That's incredibly cocked. Oh no, I've also done the thing where I've zoomed in and I can't zoom back out again. Oh no, I've done it. Okay. Skills, sleight of hand. That's a 13. So yeah, it's a very Ward thing, like letting their like morals stand in the way of doing what's actually sensible, and then just not doing a very good job of I think it's from their moral standpoint. Like,
it's also the difficulty of trying to tie someone up when they're already restrained within a massive like metal and wiry hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm
but it's lots of like daft like I don't know how you thought you were going to get away with this, good will always triumph, like lots of that sort of nonsense. Going backwards and forwards. So you're just Ward's just kind of doing a ongoing thing of triumph and and all of this will be washed away in the sands of time. No one will remember who you are, and
wow, that's
you will be forced to live a long life. Like
you can hear that Valkyrie's muttering something under her own breath, and she is just now as like a kind of mantra, just repeating the phrase, "The lady will rule over us all in life and death. The lady will rule over us all in life and death," and is just repeating this in her kind of zoned out state.
Does it look like she's trying to cast a spell?
No, at the moment it just looks like she's trying to focus.
Okay.
Rudy.
Yeah. So the frightened thing, you said it's as long as I can see this thing, yeah?
Yes.
And how far away from it am I?
You're about 10-15 feet from it.
Okay. Then I want to pull my goggles down over my eyes so I see and hear everything through Sidekick. and leaves me deaf and blind. And so I want to then like make my way using my hands just and feel my way to this thing.
Okay.
And grab it and smash it on the floor.
Okay, so you were able to open out a little bit of a cage, but you were able to see it was still within something of a cage. So if you go up to it, you won't be able to actually okay, you can try to pull it
if
out.
I go over, I was assuming it was a thing I could pick up. What do I feel when I get over there?
I think what happens is you go over, you go to pull it out, you take 11 points of necrotic damage just from touching it as you go to pull it out from here, but you can make me a strength check to try and wrench it out of this.
Okay.
So all you see is like just feeling in the darkness, not able to actually like see your current surroundings, and you just feel this shock into you. Make me a strength check.
Okay. Which I get advantage with because I'm still raging.
True, you did damage to something.
So the strength check, that's 18.
You managed to drag this dragon shard. I mean, you can't see. If you could, there'd be kind of like weird shadowy smoke pouring out of it, almost seeming to still link it to this pedestal, but you are able to pull it out. You can still feel it being pulled back. So you're having to use your energy to actually keep it from just being pulled back to this pedestal. Yeah. It's in your hands.
Cool. Yep. That's what I'm doing then, I think. Okay.
Whilst that's happening in that carriage, in the front carriage, Mukt and Kane have just entered. And August doesn't have many things at her disposal because she is a train driver. Yeah, August is literally, I mean, you're the person who's nearest. No, August looks like she's about to try and like flail out and just try and slap you away. But the moment that she lets one hand go of the control panel, the entire train feels like it's like slightly shaking. She just brings her hands back and just goes, I don't know what you're trying. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Just says that to the both of you. And it is your go next, Mukt.
Thank you.
With this fearsome halfling.
Okay. I would like to dust off my tuxedo after that. I'm now in a train and safe, and I'm feeling good about that. So touch everything. It's all there. It's good. Okay. And then I would like to approach August and say, I know you might be quite nervous. I am quite well known in this town, but don't worry, celebrities are just normal people. And then I've
no idea who you are.
And she's like, oh, well, in which case then, I just gotta say to her, what's your like? I feel like this is gonna I don't think I'm gonna do any like spells or combat at the moment. Mm-hmm. So like, is it okay just kind of to ask to try and persuade?
Yeah, you can try and do just like natural persuasion if you want to.
Cool. All right, so yeah, in which case I'm just trying to persuade. I'm just gonna say to her, what's your stake in this? I mean, I've got money and not death as options that I can offer you. You know, you could be a friend. Kane, look, Kane wants to be your friend. You could have 2 friends.
Just like thumbs up from Kane just behind you. Okay, roll me a persuasion check.
Okay.
It's a flat roll.
So, just as I don't know how this interacts generally, but like I'm supposed to have advantage when I'm trying to be somebody else. I am in my persona as Franz. I don't know if Franz counts as somebody else or as me.
I like Franz still, as far as I'm aware, like that still counts as you are trying to be somebody else.
Cool.
I think that's sometimes if you're trying to convince someone, but I think you get an advantage with your glamour weave tuxedo on persuasion.
Oh, well then, great. Double advantage.
I believe so. So just, 2 and take the higher.
Grand. That's a 27.
Wow.
Bards.
Gonna bard.
Yeah.
No holds barred.
Yay.
Hey.
August, like, how much money?
Oh, good question.
Treat
15
1
gold.
gold as £10. I don't know how much Mukt thinks they can offer.
Oh, that's a good point. I can lie. I was looking at how much gold I have, but that doesn't matter.
That's when you see the difference between the player and the character right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say I will give you 1,000 gold.
Okay. Please roll me deception. And I'm gonna roll for August on insight.
$1 million.
It's not as good. 24
Oh, it's not as good, that 24.
plus 11. Like a 13 isn't great.
I was so pleased with having rolled a 15. So pleased. August kind of looks at you, does some mental maths of like, that is a huge amount of money, and critically, more than she was being paid to do this job.
That's what I was hoping.
And just looks and goes, wait, so what do you want me to do with the train? What do you want me to do?
It would be great to stop it, but slowly, so that anything that's happening is like nice and easy. Bring it slowly to a stop, and then we can just chat, maybe have a few drinks, maybe I can sing a song, then maybe you can give me a tip. We'd see how it goes.
Okay, but 1,000 gold for me doing this.
Yes, definitely. And I look at Kane.
Kane is trying to avoid your gaze right now. You start to feel like a slight shift in the train. And I mean, you're in the cockpit essentially, so you can see what comes up ahead. And you can see that at the moment you're just going to kind of slow down, like go over a bridge, and then you can't quite see where the rail goes further on. Everyone else also feels that of a slight whoom of the train starting to slow down. It's going at such speed that it's going to take a while before it actually comes to any kind of a halt, but you might be able to just feel a slight kind of shift in your stomach as it changes. And because it's slowing down, it's not going to be torn to shreds at the end of the round. Aoife!
Bonus.
Okay, I'm in this lovely little darkness hole. I'm gonna walk towards the little pinpoint of light as well, and I imagine, do I then kind of come in contact with Rudy because we're
yeah, I'd say so. You bump into Rudy. You still, even right next to Rudy, you can't see her.
Yeah. I will just put my hand on Rudy's shoulder and say, "It's okay. It's just dark, and even the night has light." A white kind of cylinder of silver light kind of pierces the darkness, and I cast Moonbeam.
Cool. And is that like in front of you? Is that on the? Because Rudy's holding the shard.
I'm gonna say Rudy's like got her hand out in front of her with this shard burning into her hand.
It's a good question. I probably can't super see where Rudy actually is until I cast it.
Yeah, you can only like see this glow.
So I think realistically, I don't know that Rudy's holding it, so I'm casting it where I can kind of sense this energy and this light coming from. So I'm probably not going to hit like all of Rudy, but the beam is probably going to get the shard, so it might get some of Rudy as well.
Okay, we'll have to take that as damage on the shard and on Rudy.
I'll heal you next time, I promise.
I love how you're just like, and sometimes in darkness there is light, and then it's just like danger light. Okay, if you could roll damage for me, please. It's a con save, right?
Really could make a con save to get off of this. So.
Cool, making a con save for the carriage.
2d10.
I'm going to make a con save for Falchion as well, because they would be there.
Thank you.
That's 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage, okay.
11, sorry, I was doing any voice.
That's 14 on con.
Okay.
7. We're ready.
So 11 14 also fails. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
So yeah, 11 all round.
Ouch.
Sorry, guys. It could be worse. I rolled quite badly. Just over the average.
So all at the same time, basically, you hear this kind of cracking and tearing through the carriage, which is itself damaged somewhat through the moonbeam. You can only really see the damage within the moonbeam itself. Obviously, you can't see any kind of like ripple effects of that. G, what you feel and what you can now see because of the moonbeam is the dragon shard cracking, and then because there is a kind of a level of damage it has to take in order for it to be destroyed, and it kind of takes some and then reforms.
Does the fact it's radiant make any difference in terms of that?
I'm afraid not. Like the dragon shard is being used for kind of dark, necrotic, etc. purposes, but it isn't inherently that itself.
Okay. Also, with the casting of Moonbeam, Spider Climb sadly is gone. It served us well because Moonbeam does stay up. Yeah.
Cool.
And I think I'd tell Rudy that like the Moonbeam's staying up, and if she stays in the space, then it's gonna. She needs to move away from the space before the next round comes around, basically.
Okay. It is now Vakrie's turn, who is fully tied up. Depends how much she's ever pushed. No, she's not far after that. Is going to try and make a strength save against the hand. Obviously, it would have to be like a 2-step because there's the hand and then there's the tying up outside the hand.
Yes.
Sorry, was that any like?
No, yeah, that was just that. I'm trying to think whether she's sort of tied up but also restrained from the hand. So whether it's she'd need to get rid of the rope in order to do. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a tricky one. I know. It's a disadvantage, isn't it? Because she's already restrained. That was so nice to roll a 19 and so sad to roll a 2. You see a little shift in her eyes, and that Zen focus is dropping, and there's a slight shift in Vakrie's demeanour. Mac, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm very annoyed at not being able to knock out somebody with my hammer. I'm quite surprised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Branding Smite to give my attacks slightly more damage. And Vakrie is still restrained, yes. So I'm attacking with advantage. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And this is non-lethal to knock her out.
Yeah, non-lethal. So 17 on the 17. Oh, we're exactly the same.
Yep.
17 on the first one.
Okay.
Yep. And the second one's a nat 20. So the first one will actually do d8 plus 2d6, which is 9, and that's 15. And the next one, which is a nat 20, will do just d8, but twice. Oh, it's a 1. That's awful. Oh, and a 2. That's really rubbish. So I do another 18 damage.
Another 18 damage. You see like a little flicker, but she's not quite unconscious yet.
Oh my god.
Vakrie is made of stern stuff. However, it's over to Ward. Unless you want Falchion to do anything or anything like that.
So will Falchion need to move out of this light in order to not take damage next time? Is that how that works?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. Falchion is going to run back in my direction then.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Ward.
I can't see the moonbeam things. I can't see anything that's happening inside the magic darkness, or
you are starting to pick out some shapes. Like it's a little bit hard, but it's almost like because the shard has been separated from the pedestal, the darkness seems to be flickering in and out more than it was, and almost starting to dissipate, but you still can only make out shapes. And obviously, yes, they're kind of almost like backlit silhouettes because there's this bright moonbeam the other side of them to you.
Okay. if I tried to hit the dragon shard from here, is that something that I'd be able to do if it's being very brightly backlit?
It is bright itself. It has kind of a natural glow, so you can try if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How far away from me is it?
It's about 45. No, because you're about halfway down, so it's about 20 feet.
It's 20 feet. Okay, great. Does that have to be creature? Yes. Okay. Then I will just funnel the heat down through Ward's arm and yeet a firebolt.
Fireball. Okay.
Fireball, we'll die.
Excuse me. I'm an evocation wizard, please. I could still yeet a fireball at it if I wanted. Firebolt at it. I need to hit it. I don't know what its AC is.
Its AC is 15.
It's not that great. But I have a +8 to hit, so that's 17.
Nice.
Yay.
Roll me the damage on this.
2d10. Oh, delicious. That's 14.
14.
14 points of fire damage.
This bolt of fire hits Rudy's hand.
Sorry, Rudy.
I'm going to say that because it hits your hand as well, you're going to take half that damage.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Just because
Bad
something is
day
being
for
set
Rudy's
on fire
hands.
in your
Really
hand.
doesn't end up with a robot hand in the next campaign. I'm really upset.
And the fire just like catches on this, and Rudy, you've seen this already like fracture and then reform, but this time it fractures and fractures and fractures, and there's kind of it burns seemingly from the inside and then just shatters, and you all hear this. Even Mukt and Kane and August in the next carriage hear this just shattering, and as it shatters it bursts outwards and almost looks like it tears through that darkness and through that shadow and tears holes in it so that there's just like little wisps that hang in the air and are starting to fade. And you also can hear the difference of things slowing down, of hums that were in the background of here slowing down. There's still like the rush of the air from outside, but there is suddenly like a slight quiet because the machine isn't running anymore. There is still someone else on this train. They are restrained, so they're not a threat, but I'm going to keep us in a tiny bit more of initiative order. Rudy, it's your go.
So the darkness is now gone. Yeah.
Yeah, the darkness has just away.
So Rudy, still with fist clenched, walks over to Vakri. I just kind of like grinds a hand and the dust of the crystal falls out. I think I call that winning. What about you? I don't think I have an action to do. So.
I mean, that was a pretty cool line, to be honest. Just like that's an action.
Yeah.
Cool. Vakri doesn't reply just yet. August is still slowing down the train. Wait, do you know what is that sound meant to happen?
Do you know what I think it is? I think all the money that we've got for you, it's just like there's so much of it, it fell out of the chest and like fell on the floor. And
Roll
then a big
deception.
crashing sound.
If you're going to double down on this,
I
roll
have a
another
plus
deception.
11, and it's one.
God.
Roll like if I fail.
There's 20 numbers on the dice, man.
Yeah.
I got a natural 20, so that's a 31.
Well, we could all get a fucked then.
That's so much money. That's so. I've never heard such noisy money. and August is still kind of bringing things under control. Kane just gives you a little pat on the shoulder, just like, maybe, just a little less, dial it back. And
That's
goes
actually
to
why I
the.
think Kane believes there's money.
Kane is going to walk to the back of this carriage and and just use his action to basically dash so that he can get this door open and try and make contact with the next carriage. We're then up to Aoife.
I want to go over to Valkyrie. You said Valkyrie's Kalashtar.
Yes.
Do I get any sense that she's the same spirit family?
It's hard for you to know. In terms of like your experience with Kalashstars and stuff, you might feel like additional affinities, but a lot of the feelings right now are so clouded by the context of the situation.
I think I'll just go. I kind of communicate, like, again, as I usually do with Kalashtar, telepathically, and just say, we're descended from ancient spirits. We're proof that there is immortality and life beyond death. What the hell were you thinking?
Telepathically, I want a life beyond death and immortality that I have chosen, not one that was passed down to me. Is there anything else you do?
I just go, I mean this quite literally, you should never look a gift horse in the mouth. Oh, I was a horse. You didn't. I was a horse earlier. That would have been funny. I'm sorry.
You see magic start to coalesce around Valkyrie, and she is casting a spell and just kind of goes.
Anyone that help?
I don't. I have dispel magic, and I haven't used it yet. So if she does something, I'll dispel the magic. But if it's like I can't
she
do it
teleports,
while she's doing
mate.
it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and you're in a different. And funny you should say that, Grace. I simply must redouble my efforts and improve myself. All of this was a test, and it proved I am not yet worthy. And then teleports out. Was holding on to that just in case she needed it, but you just see, and there's this kind of shape left, almost like an echo of her in the hand.
I think there's like that sort of like almost like roar of frustration from Ward, and they like slam the hand like closed into the bottom of the tray and just turn away from everyone.
We should have killed her. Now everyone that she hurts is a little bit our fault because we let her do it.
We'll catch up to her again.
Kane on the other side opens like the back door. Is everyone okay?
Yes.
All good here.
Good.
She escaped. Valkyrie escaped.
Hey, there's still, 6 of us and 1 of her. I like those odds.
Aoife, I don't agree with you. I think that if what she wanted was, we don't know what she would have been able to do dead, and I don't like those odds. I think it's easy to assume with the information that we have that we would have been better killing her, but I don't think that that's necessarily true.
It's not a bad thing to not want to kill people. In many ways, it's a good thing. But there's not one animal out there that won't kill to protect itself or its offspring. It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you part of nature.
I am not an animal. I think Ward just goes and sits down, like somewhere at the back, probably.
Is everyone all right? I just want to check in. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've got maybe like 50 seconds because it's super tight. So August is able to slow the train down and start taking it on a different route. So you're going to stop at a small station in a village. Is there anything that, as you're kind of taking this more gentle train around, also with August occasionally just asking where this money is, is there anything anyone would like to close this off with?
I think.
Is it possible?
So I think that I've kind of bought into my own lie, and I'm excitedly discussing with August what she's gonna spend the money on.
Okay.
I've kind of forgotten that. Maybe I think that like Johera has loads of money and they're gonna give us the money. Like, but I'm definitely like excitedly discussing like future lottery winning plans with August.
August does that too as well, and has that conversation. Is there anything else anyone else wants to do super quickly?
Is it possible to release the elementals? I feel like they've gone through enough.
Once you get into the station, you can go to August and talk about releasing the elemental. And August knows this train better than anyone else, and she's worked on it for a long time. So she kind of gets someone's help, maybe Rudy or Max, someone strong, because she's a halfling, and just gets you to hold her by the ankles, because you have to open up this hatch which has an arcane lock on it, and then you have to kind of reach down into the workings, and then there's a different type of dragon shard, but another dragon shard containing this elemental. And she kind of goes over to the side. There's not many people know, but there's a special thing, and opens up this other hatch which has basically kind of like a vice, places the dragon shard in this vice and just cracks it open. And you're stood on the train in this station, and no one like in this small village has ever seen anything like this before as well. But basically we're just going to kind of, almost as if it was a camera, we just like pan upwards and outwards as this air elemental is released from this dragon shard, this train, well, the few carriages of it that made it here. One of them still flaming away at the back, just like billowing smoke and fire out of the back carriage of this, what's left of this train. We pan back and see you in Breland, in Khorvaire, in Eberron, and that there's just like a little bit of quiet, because whilst there may still be people out there who are trying to do this, you destroyed the machine. You stopped it getting to the Mournlands. You have bought so much time, and right now everyone's safer because of you, and that's where we're going to stop. I need to race through this outro so damn quickly. Thank you everyone for joining us for the final part of Eberron Terminus. If you enjoyed tonight, we stream every Monday 6 to 9 p.m. BST. What we have coming up is a really cool thing. It's called Untold Tales, and it's 6 weeks of one-shots of like slightly unusual and different kind of takes on things like monster hunters, heists, mysterious weird shipwrecks, etc. We also have our show Undergods, which is actually being streamed live tomorrow at 2 p.m. if you want to see something that's in a homebrewed setting and has a little bit of a different pace to this. A big thanks to Ultra Pro and D&D Beyond, who sponsor everything we do. We could not do this without them, so thank you so much. Also, head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Adventurers Wanted, where you can see the episodes that led up to this. You can also see other games and adventures and campaigns and systems that we've run. If you want to keep up to date with anything we're doing, we're at Adventurers250 on Twitter, or Adventurers Wanted pretty much everywhere else on social media. Don't forget, if you say something in chat, you can get this little fella, and we will let people know through whispers, so watch out for your Twitch whispers to see if you've won. Please just tell people about us and about our shows and bits and pieces, because word of mouth is awesome. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Adventurers Wanted. But we've probably got very little time, so I'm just going to say bye. Bye.